cause it's all about the you. Giving straight pressure, that ain't nothing brand new. Grinding for the prize, cause it's all about the you. One-on-one, we the hottest team under the sun. We bringing back that grit, things about to get lit. You know how we coming. Ain't no new discovery. Come across that middle, you gon' need a long recovery. They asking if the U is back. Now we back to work, state of Miami intact. Crystal ball is back. Green tree is rocking. Don't need no beat. When we run through that smoke, you gon' feel that defeat. Category 5, what you gon' do? Better run for shelter, cause it's all about the you. Giving straight pressure, that ain't nothing brand new. Grinding for the prize, cause it's all about the you. This ain't no fraternity, but we straight steppers. We bringing that heat, nobody doing it better. Your record got you flying high, make your wings stop, no lemon pepper. Orange and green is on top, the recruits know it's a new era. College game day at the route, we bout whatever. We a family, a real tribe, championship survive. You see the U on the helmet, you know the vibe. We stay swagged out, putting y'all to shame, no surprise. Category 5, what you gon' do? Better run for shelter, cause it's all about the you. Giving straight pressure, that ain't nothing brand new. Grinding for the prize, cause it's all about the you. Championship's the motto. 83, 87, 89, 91, 2001. We about to get us another one. Let's have some fun. Let's go. We bleed this orange and green. Don't get this confused. We working. Go run for shelter, cause we coming. It's a cane thing, y'all wouldn't even understand. Yeah. Category 5, what you gon' do? Better run for shelter, cause it's all about the you. Giving straight pressure, that ain't nothing brand new. Grinding for the prize, cause it's all about the you. It's all about the you. It's all about the you. What you gon' do? Better run for shelter, cause it's all about the you. Giving straight pressure, that ain't nothing brand new. Grinding for the prize, cause it's all about the you. One-on-one, we the hottest team under the sun. We bringing back that grit, things about to get lit. You know how we coming. Ain't no new discovery. Come across that middle, you gon' need a long recovery. They asking if the U is back. Now we back to work, state of Miami intact. Crystal ball is back. Green tree is rocking. Don't need no beat. When we run through that smoke, you gon' feel that defeat. Category 5, what you gon' do? Better run for shelter, cause it's all about the you. Giving straight pressure, that ain't nothing brand new. Grinding for the prize, cause it's all about the you. This ain't no fraternity, but we straight steppers. We bringing that heat, nobody doing it better. Your record got you flying high, make your wings stop, no lemon pepper. Orange and green is on top, the recruits know it's a new era. College game day at the route, we bout whatever. We a family, a real tribe, championship survive. You see the U on the helmet, you know the vibe. We stay swagged out, putting y'all to shame, no surprise. Category 5, what you gon' do? Better run for shelter, cause it's all about the you. Giving straight pressure, that ain't nothing brand new. Grinding for the prize, cause it's all about the you. Championship's the motto. 83, 87, 89, 91, 2001. We about to get us another one. Let's have some fun. Let's go. We bleed this orange and green. Don't get this confused. We working. Go run for shelter, cause we coming. It's a cane thing, y'all wouldn't even understand. Yeah. Category 5, what you gon' do? Better run for shelter, cause it's all about the you. Giving straight pressure, that ain't nothing brand new. Grinding for the prize, cause it's all about the you. It's all about the you. It's all about the you.
Yo, 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 what's going on, Canes fans? Welcome to the second ever late night Real Talk stream. Man, if you guys missed the first episode that we did last Sunday, you guys missed a good one. The point of these streams is to be a little more blunt and real when talking Miami Hurricanes football. We discuss anything and everything when it comes to the Canes, but I don't do really my normal, exaggerated version of myself that I do in videos with the over-the-top skits and shenanigans and all that stuff. We just keep it real, but we have a good time, man. And I really appreciate everybody showing up loud and proud tonight for this one. Steve is here. Melissa checking in from work. Don't worry, Melissa. Dr. Coop has got you. I will write the note. I'll forge something for you. Don't worry. Cane for Life 75, North Kentucky Canes, man. Good to see all you guys. Jimmy. We got Jordan in the building, John Bird, Sage. Appreciate y'all for real. Ellen, everybody checking in. Chris, Fresh. So we got a couple of topics that I'm going to bring to the table tonight. But I'm looking for Canes fan members to bring some hot topics as well. So, of course, I want to talk about Florida State because it's FSU hate week, man. I don't care what anybody says. We're going to get into some trash talk. We can talk about this Gaddis and Frank Ponce stuff with the OC. We can talk about the quarterback position because you got some Canes fans now that are saying, Jake Garcia, man, why did we hype him up? We don't want him. He can hit the portal. Bring on Ja'Cory Brown. Then you got other Canes fans who are hoping and praying that TBD comes back for the Florida State game. We can talk about the rumors of Rooster hitting the transfer portal. I did have a discussion with someone who personally is close with Jalen Knighton, and we'll talk about that a little bit later tonight. What's going on, Doodoo? Good to see you guys. Salty, all you guys. So for Canes fan members, you guys are more than welcome to join the video feed and jump into the stream. So it won't just be me. If you guys are new to these streams, we can bring up to 10 Canes fan members on the stream at once, and we all just chop it up and have a good time. We'll try to keep this stream to about an hour and a half to 2 hours because I'm leaving for Miami on Tuesday. So originally I thought I was going to be leaving on Wednesday. I'm actually leaving on Tuesday instead, an entire day early. So your boy Coop has so much work to do in the next 24 hours. It's absolutely ridiculous. I have around 6 to 7 videos to film, plus preparing to leave for Miami, which is a 14-hour drive for me. So I did announce a little bit in the last stream that we are doing an official meetup at Caneswear the Friday night before the FSU game. So in case you're wondering, it's going to be me, former Miami Hurricane Lance Leggett, Hurricane T2Y is going to be there. Who else? I had an entire list. Alex from Locked On Canes is going to be there. Some people from the Miami Flow team, potentially. I got in contact with John with Capacito and Canes and some of those guys. Coach Hayes, possibly, and more. So it's going to be a really, really cool time. It's going to be absolutely lit. I'm ready to enjoy it. But otherwise, man, let's bring the Canes fan members into the show. If anybody wants to jump in, guys, just check the most recent video that I uploaded. It will be in the pinned comment for Canes fan members only, and also in the community tab for Canes fan members only as well. So you guys can get the link to jump into the show. Man, don't be shy. Come on now. We don't bite. Well, Steve does. Steve bites, but he's only got a few never mind. I was going to try to make a joke at Steve, but Steve, so you finished Doro Hidoro? I feel like I can banter back and forth with Steve because he can take it, bro. He can take it. Appreciate you, Connor. Thank you for being here. I'm glad you like the show. What's up, Brandon? So we're gonna jump right into it tonight. I'm gonna bring some people in. We're gonna chop it up. We're gonna start the talk. Let's kick it over. Here we go. All right. So first off, we're bringing in Chris. Chris, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Whoa, totally different location.
Yeah, I'm up here in New Jersey in a hotel room. So,
gotcha. Okay.
Exotic and cold.
Cool. And we got Jordan, a.k.a. South Coast Cane, popping in as well. What's going on, Jordan?
Hey, what's happening, Coop? What's up, Chris?
What's going on, buddy?
Jordan's over here checking in from Hurricane Lane, it looks like, up in the studio.
Yeah, I was in the hotel room last week, so I feel you, dude.
Hey, that's going to be me all next week. I'm hoping and praying that they got some decent internet so I can still upload some stuff. But So, man, tonight, I kind of want to kick this thing off, if you guys are cool with it, talking about FSU just a little bit. Because, again, it's Florida State week, right? Uh-oh, what do we got? Woo! I hate Florida State. 303 reasons why you should too.
Going old school tonight, baby.
I have never seen that before.
You probably weren't born back then. I'm just joking.
Probably not. That's
Just joking.
Wait. Did that say that was written by Paul Feinbaum?
Yes, it did. Ain't that crazy?
Huh. Interesting. Okay. So I guess he's not a Florida State fan?
I don't know. They had like a crap load of these out back in the mid-'90s. You know, I hate different teams. You know.
Kind of like when they would do those for dummies books.
Yeah.
I got you. But yeah, I want to talk about the Florida State game a bit because I'm seeing so many Canes fans that are very timid and scared to talk trash right now because, you know, they're saying that we haven't earned the right to do that this season. And I wanted to see kind of how you guys feel about that, Chris and Jordan. How do you feel about, are you going to be talking any smack with Florida State fans, or are you just, we're backing off this year?
I don't know, Jordan. What do you think, man? You go first.
Dude, I'm 365 24/7 when it comes trash talking to Florida State. It don't matter if it's football season, baseball, basketball, field hockey, lacrosse, swimming, diving. I'm always talking crap with those people, bro. Always. But I kind of turned up a notch this week.
Yeah, I see a lot of trash talking for a team that, I mean, they did beat LSU, so that was solid. But then their schedule basically looks like a soft version of ours outside of that game. It looks like, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think the big point that Florida State fans keep making, at least what they're throwing in my face, is their 3 losses are to better teams. So, you know, they're arguing that they only lost to Clemson by 6. They only lost to Wake Forest by 10. They only lost to NC State by 2.
Well, when it comes to Miami, Florida State, you got to throw records out, dude. It's a whole different time.
That's my argument. That's what I want to say is I mean, Miami, but when you look at it historically, there's always exceptions, but, you know, there's a lot of close games played between those two teams. When on paper and when looking at the tape, it shouldn't have been.
I mean, I kind of laugh a little bit. I saw some people in the, FSU fans jumping in the Virginia game saying they were going to beat us 60-something to 7 and whatever. And I'm not so sure I'd argue the 7 right now because I don't know exactly what our offense will look like. But I think North Carolina has a better offense than Florida State. I think their quarterback's better, and they threw up 27 points on us. So, I don't see the blowout that some are predicting, I guess.
Yeah, I think right now when I checked before the stream, they're favored by 9.5.
Yeah.
Which I think is understandable. I mean, again, that's the thing is I agree that I'm still going to talk some smack just because I can't stand that fan base most of the time. But I'm also going to look at the reality of the situation, and Miami doesn't put up a lot of points. So.
I mean, if you go ahead. Go ahead, Chris.
No, go ahead, Jordan. Go for it.
I was just going to say, I mean, our season's in the crapper, you know. So, I mean, it's easy to say, yeah, they're going to blow us out. It's going to be difficult, very difficult. But you never know. It's Miami, Florida State.
Can we stop Jordan Travis?
Running or passing?
I think we stop anybody. I mean, most anybody anyways. At least we can stop most anybody 98% of the plays.
That's the thing.
As long as it's not 3rd and long, we'll be all right.
Fair. That's terrifying. I'm holding my breath. I said that in that one video I did. I'd rather it be 3rd and 2 than 3rd and 12. Honest to goodness, I would.
You know, the thing I find or I'm really looking forward to see. And by the way, so if I was a Florida State fan right now, 100% I'd be super nervous about talking all sorts of trash right now, because I think this could be, it could go drastically sway from one side to the other. You know what? I think whether TVD comes in this week and is able to play or not is big. Um, and look, we've got a couple of our receivers back. We've got a couple of our linemen back. I think all of a sudden, while it wasn't, um, our run game didn't look lights out last against Virginia. I think that if we had had TVD and we had the same passing game that we did have, right, and then you layer that on, I think that looks different. And so I'm interested to see, okay, can we sustain drives and suck clock up, and at a minimum go back to being the team we were for the first, for the Texas A&M game, for North Carolina, where we all cried and beat our heads against the wall from the 20, within the 20s, and then from the 20 to the 20 we looked like Alabama, and we took up 30% more clock than our competitors. Like that to me, can we get back? Can TVD come in, and then can he take advantage of the weapons and the offensive line coming back that we had last week? That to me, I'm super interested. And if we can't, then I think it's I lose some of the hope that I have right now.
Yeah, I personally also think it's important that if Tyler Van Dyke is 100%, that he does play in the Florida State game.
Most definitely.
I don't know how any sane person right now thinks that we're a better team with a different quarterback. I mean, I don't know how somebody can argue that other than hopes and dreams, and I don't know.
Yeah, my thing is, because I'm in the process right now of kind of, writing up notes and stuff for the preview video for that game. And no matter how you want to look at that thing, Florida State just looks like the team that's going to win it, no matter how you want to view it. Well, no matter what angle, if you're a fan of whichever team. And I'm just hoping and praying that if anything, if we can win this game off of hype and emotion, I guess so to say. I mean, I realize that alone doesn't win you games, but I'm hoping that we get a little extra up for this one.
So
yeah, it's going to be – go ahead.
No, go for it, bud.
I was just going to say, I mean, it would be foolish to say it's not going to be an uphill climb. Okay, it's going to take – I mean, it's going to have – we just got to take a 180-degree turn to do it, and the team can do it. Miami's got the talent to do it. Now, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the coaches are doing. I don't know what the players are doing, but I really need them to stop doing it this week. But nothing's impossible, but it's going to be difficult. But stranger things have happened.
Well, let me tell you, there's some Florida State fans showing up in here. I'm seeing FSU by 25, 4th and 14. Our running back alone may win this game. FSU by 13. Miami is absolute trash. Miami sucks. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. I love
it. How many of them think that they're a better offense than North Carolina? I'm curious. And then the next question is, what team have they played with a better defense than us?
Let's see. Who else has Florida State actually played? They've played Duquesne. They've played LSU. Who else was on their schedule? I'm about to pull it up because I'm not going to lie, I don't remember. Let me see. Or as I like to say, Duquesne. LSU, Louisville, Boston College. Of course, the 3-game skid they had against Wake Forest, NC State, Clemson. And then they handled business last week against Georgia Tech. So I'm looking for Florida State fan answers is what I'm looking for in the chat. And I also want to ask because, Jordan, you mentioned, this game, or not this game, this season is kind of just a wash, right? Like we all already know that. We're 4-4. We're just worried about not losing recruits for the 2023 season, trying to win as many as we can. is it fair to say that this would be a must-win game for Miami and for Mario, or no?
Oh, I say yeah. Wouldn't hurt. You know.
I'm just kind of curious how people feel about that.
Must win in what scenario? Like what?
I
Must
mean,
win or he's fired?
I mean, that's a fair question because it is kind of a loaded question, right? Like, are we talking about because we might lose recruits if we lose it? Are we talking about, I guess, honestly, that's almost really about it because otherwise it's not going to impact really anything else other than putting another tally mark in the loss column. I mean, other than just to say, I think that it would, I guess I'll say this. I think that at 4-4, Canes fans have obviously given up hope on the season at this point. We're not playing for a natty. We're not playing for an ACC championship. But I do feel like there's a large portion of Canes fans that will step back and say, at least we beat FSU. If we could pull it off.
I agree.
Boy, I'm going to get some flack. I think we have a better team. I think we're young, and I think, again, I've said it for weeks now. I think injuries have been a real problem, and it's almost like watching a different team every week. So for the first 2 weeks, we all were upset, saying, "Well, if we could just run the ball, we got the passing down, but we can't run." And then the next 2 weeks, it was, well, we can run, but we can't pass. So if we could just pass, then we'd be complete. And then, then we went through 2 weeks of we couldn't do either. And so I don't know. Again, the only variable that just stands out is the injury side. What would that Virginia game have looked like had TVD not been hurt? It's not like we didn't have a bunch of open. I mean, I hate to say that because I do like Garcia, but I mean, we had some really open situations there where we just missed.
We did.
Right. So, yeah, I think it's a different game.
You weren't wrong, Chris. The FSU fans are coming for you.
Oh, that's okay. I'm used to it.
They do not like it.
That's all right.
They can kick rocks.
I mean, they lost to some real world beaters, let me tell you.
Now, how will it see, man, dog, I hate this argument. I hate this argument. I can't stand whenever people do this, but with all the trash talk and talking about how bad Miami is, what are FSU fans going to say if they do lose to us?
They won't say anything because they'll be hiding.
They do every time. Yeah, that's right.
Because didn't they have a losing record last year during the 4th and 14 game?
Honestly, I don't remember what their record was going into that game.
Because weren't we pretty heavily favored to go in there and beat them easily, if I'm not mistaken?
I'll be honest, Jordan, I've slept a lot since then. And I sit here and talk about the Canes for a living on YouTube, and I can't even remember, to be honest.
But, it's like I said, you just got to throw the records out. We have the ability to beat them. They got the ability to beat us, But, the injury bug has hit us on the offensive line. Just not getting the protection and the run blocking. But, this is where the coaching staff needs to formulate a game plan to, how can I say it, accentuate our talents that we have. It's kind of like with Garcia. This game with Virginia, the parts I didn't fall asleep through. Oh.
Did that really happen?
Dude, I'm sitting here. It's like, it must have been like right at the beginning of the second quarter. Next thing I know, it's like halftime, bro. Just, I passed out sound asleep. That's how exciting it was.
Because you weren't the only one that said that. And I thought that people were trying to troll and be funny. And then I realized, I was like, well, wait a minute. Like, I'm even kind of sitting here like, huh? Like, if it wasn't for the chat, going up and down and me trying to, stay in it, then I could totally see it. Like, if I was chilling on my couch, had the window open, sun kind of coming in, like, shoo, it would have been nap time for real.
Right. But what I was getting at before the Rip Van Winkle session there, there were some open receivers Garcia missed, just like DVD is missed. It's like they just key in on certain ones. But I think if they just come to their senses, play up to their level, should be interesting.
So is Chris one of the Canes fans that's saying, all right, TVD sucks, Jake Garcia sucks, I guess we have to play Ja'Cory Brown now?
If you're talking to me, no.
That's what
I mean,
that's what I see I understand Twitter is a cesspool, but literally you go to all these forums and all those posts, man, and people are saying, I can't believe you hyped up Jake Garcia. Obviously TVD is washed up. Both of them can hit the portal. Let's go ahead and play Ja'Cory Brown.
I mean, Miami's in such a good place right now. It's frustrating, but I mean, I don't think there's a single Florida State fan. I mean, they'll say what they're going to say in chat, but then secretly at night they're gonna think different. They wouldn't love to switch places and have the coaching staff that we have, the investment that was just made, a brand new damn football stadium being built. I mean, it just like we have a school that's all in, and it's just going to be just an interesting adventure to go through over the next year or so to kind of to put it back together, and we just keep seeing spurts that get me excited. And I think we do have a legit defense. I mean, everybody wants to talk about Duke and 45 or Middle Tennessee and 45, but if you break out those games, it's especially Middle Tennessee. I mean, Duke was a little different in the fourth quarter, but our defense is just we've won in a big way on defense 98% of the plays. It's just whatever it is, mental lapse, somebody falls down with the wrong player or whatever.
Hey, look, listen,
plays it gets us.
I know y'all are laughing in the chat. You're spamming your laughing face emojis and stuff. Look, we know that our secondary has been giving up some big plays. But when you look at the rest of the defense as a whole, hold on, I got some kind of sex robot in here. Hold on.
Hey,
really?
Is she hot?
There we go. Got him. When you look at the rest of our defense, they've not been performing that bad, all things considered, especially the D-line. Now, I will say that I hate that. I feel like a lot of times we play it safe. I feel like we don't take a whole lot of chances on defense, but that's just kind of steel, and that's just where we're at right now. But overall, I don't know where all these laughing faces are coming when talking about the defense.
I mean, we're fourth in the country in sacks. I was looking up stats to try to find out where we were on, hurries and that kind of thing. I couldn't find one tracked. I mean, again, you take 3 plays out of Middle Tennessee, and that's like, 180 yards, something like that. It looks very different. Again, it's Middle Tennessee, so I'm not, I've tried to be the realist in that, right? But
that's fair.
But that's every game, that's what it's been.
What's bro talking about? You can't name one person on their defense. You're telling me you've never heard of Akeem Mesidor. You've never heard of Leonard Taylor. You've never heard of Avante Williams, Cam Kinchins. You're lying. You are lying through your teeth. I mean, I like this. I want them to keep it coming. I don't want them to run and hide like after we address them. Like, this is part of the fun. This is when I want to go back and forth.
Well, for what it's worth, first off, what's up, Greg Bush? If we can get some good pressure use our strength, the defensive line. If we can get some pressure to where the defensive backs can get can don't have to sit there and be in coverage for long. You know what I mean? The defensive backs are our Achilles heel. No doubt about it. But if we can get pressure with the line, if they can put a spy on Jordan Travis in case he decides to do his little dance, then got a shot. And yeah, we've had some, but our defense has been pretty good overall.
I mean, like I said, just nothing crazy, nothing super wild, but it's been okay.
you know,
But does anyone think that Florida State has a better offense than North Carolina? I mean,
I don't know
anybody?
I don't know if anyone answered it, to be honest. I'll wait. We'll give it a second.
mean-
I'll put them up on the screen as people answer. Okay,
Pull some stats up that show that, please. Support it somehow.
Matt says yes. Bryce says
All right,
hell
Matt.
no, but I know Bryce is a Canes fan. We the People says overall, yes, we do. Noel Squad says I think so. Yes. They do. They do. Now, to be fair, I'm not going to pretend like I'm not scared of Jordan Travis. Again, I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
Right. I mean, he, you know, the young man's got talent. He can do his thing, but we just got to hope to contain him best we can. You know, it kind of has shades of the old Charlie Ward days. You know.
I mean, do we feel like that Riley Leonard for Duke and Brendan Armstrong for Virginia made an impact on the ground against us? Yes or no? They were both in the 660-yard range on the ground. I think, though, Leonard he ran in 3 touchdowns. Would that be considered successful? I mean, obviously you want to keep them to 0, but realistically that's not going to happen. I mean, did we stop them from having a big impact in those 2 games? Because we were worried about Leonard and Armstrong running the ball. Jordan Travis is going to be a lot better at it than those 2 guys.
Well, I mean, it just seems like our defensive game plan is always centered around the flavor of the month. And what I mean by that is, let's go back to Southern Miss. Everybody was talking about Gore. You know, and they were trying to stop that run, and it seems like they just keyed in on that, forgot about the pass and so forth. It just seems like instead of a complete game plan defensively, they just concentrate on what everybody's talking about, if that makes any sense.
I got you.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't bet my house. I wouldn't bet much of anything on a straight out win over Florida State. I just, but I can tell you, if I was a Florida State fan, I wouldn't. I mean, when's the last time there was a blowout in a Florida State Miami game?
You bring
we had a couple of years ago.
I think there was one.
Oh, well, no, wait. We can go back into the 90s where they manhandled us back then a few times.
Oh,
too.
I was a baby back then, Jordan. I was in diapers.
I was more talking the last like 20 years, right?
You know, I mean, back when I think was it Clement that got sacked into the goalpost or something like that. I don't. It was ugly, but yeah. And it very well may happen. They might, I think I talked about it last time about, Florida State just gang raping us. And truth be told, with the way we've been playing and the way they've been playing, it could happen. It really could. But it also may not happen. Yeah, it's like I said, it's an uphill battle. Right now, they are the better playing team. I'm not going to lie. I give them credit. But, again, it's still Miami, Florida State. And if you look at the history of this, strange things have happened.
How good is our run defense? I think that, let me see. I had all these stats and stuff earlier when I was taking notes. So if you're just talking purely, just looking at the numbers, you're talking about Miami's rushing yards allowed against them per game. Miami we come in at 112. Florida State's run defense average rushing yards allowed is at 145. So run defense would be technically a strong point, I guess. Just going purely off of rushing yards allowed per game, not going any deeper than that. Is TVD playing? The rumor is that TVD was actually... See, I thought that it looked like his injury was much more serious than what they're saying. Yeah. From what I heard anyways, he was almost ready to go against Virginia, and they decided not to. So I do think that we see TVD on Saturday. Why are Florida State fans worried about that? Who do Florida State fans want to see? You want to see Tyler Van Dyke take the field for Miami or Jake Garcia? Jake Garcia would be in his second official start as a Miami Hurricane if he played in that game. Restrepo is back also, but I still think they might have him on a limited snap count, given what his injury was.
I'm curious.
But that would be huge.
I was trying to find out.
Go ahead.
I was trying to find out who is coming back. I think it's too early. I'm super interested to see later in the week when they get start releasing some of that.
Mm-hmm. And you were even talking about that last week. Some of these guys, we are coming up on that. What are we in? 8-9 games into the season. So this is the point where some of those guys that have been out early on should be coming back, or at least being kind of eased back into it. And that could play a part. It could. I think that TVD plays as long as he's mostly ready. If he has some good practices this week, I think they'll even have him in taking the reps with the ones, and the plan is TVD to play. That's just my opinion. In a big-time game like this, rivalry matchup, he's going to want it. He wants to play.
I'll tell you, though, I'll take a big loss if we can just get the same recruiting success afterward that we just had after losing to Duke in the Virginia thing. I mean, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I do think it's important to. I mean, the good thing is I think the atmosphere will be pretty wild regardless. And they're planning on bringing in a bunch of recruits and stuff for this game, so at least they're not coming in to watch a noon Miami versus FSU Valley Sports Media with 20% of the stadium filled. It should be pretty wild. It should be a good time for the recruits.
Oh yeah. Plus, again, it's Miami, Florida State. Enough said.
And I'm also seeing a lot of people, of course, ask about Jalen Knighton. There were serious rumors swirling around that he was going to hit the portal, or had already said that was the case. What have you guys heard? And then I'll tell you what I've heard. Anything?
I've only just seen the stuff that's been on Twitter. I haven't spoke with him lately.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
It wouldn't shock me. I mean, based off some, the performance and some issues there, I could see it, right? But
so I heard, and you guys know I'm not an insider guy. I'm not a rumor guy. I don't like that stuff. I have people that will tell me stuff that do know some people, and they always say, Coop, do what you want with this information, and I just don't do anything with it most of the time, because sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. What I was told anyways from someone who is a family member of Jalen Knighton was that at this time he's not transferring, that he was frustrated by his performance, number one, and also some of the way this offense runs and the way that they use him, yada, yada, whatever. Plus, he's just been frustrated because he was fighting injuries early on in the season. But from what I was told, a family member spoke with him directly, and he said at this time he's staying in Miami. That could change tomorrow. I don't know.
Well, I agree with – I was going to say, I just agree with what Nick Polly was saying and what you've said. It's kind of been a trend where some of these guys – I don't want to say get butt hurt, but they get their feelings hurt or they get upset at the moment. There was some folks that were taking their team stuff off their Twitter page, and then next day, they put it back up. So, I don't know.
And I mean, that's going to be something I feel like in today's times, you're definitely going to see a continued trend of that happening. I mean, the first thing everyone does is run to social media, right? Turn on the camera, go live, vent, put some kind of post up. I mean, it's just a product of the times. That's just kind of how things are nowadays.
True. So. But, I mean, and I like Rooster, but he's had his opportunities. He fumbled them, no pun intended. But
That
you
one
know,
hurts, Jordan. That one hurts. You know,
yes.
Rooster's my dude, Jordan.
Oh, hey, he's my dude also. He's just I've said it 1,000 times. Something's not right with him this year. I guess
Yeah,
I've kind of jumped on the Lucius bandwagon here lately, but there's just something's not right with Jalen. Just like with TVD, there's just something's going on. I don't know.
And that's fair. I'm not going to sit
TVD's
here
look pretty
and
good.
talk him up with what we've seen so far. But
I think TVD made the turn, right? The last
yeah,
couple
that's
weeks.
what I was. What I should have said, and I'm sorry, you're right. Earlier in the season, he started off and then he has come around. He has some flashes of what he was doing last year, but I really think he's going to get better.
I just
they
hate
talked
that.
about it on there. Go ahead, Coop. Sorry.
I was just going to say the reason why I didn't want to see Jalen Knighton transfer because I know that he's been struggling lately, but it's just that potential that's there, man. We know how fast he is. As a matter of fact, hold on. I might be able to show something here really quick on the stream. There was a moment last year in that Florida State game, and I would love to see Knighton come out, play this Saturday, and make a play like this. Let me see if I can make this happen real quick. We're just kind of winging it. That's the point of these. We kind of go with the flow, guys. So let me see if I can find this. I'm pretty sure I can share my screen on StreamYard. Okay, here we go. Let's try this out. First time, let's see what happens here. Share screen. Don't show any nudie pics. Okay, confirmed. Boom. Okay, let's see if we can do this. All right, are you guys able to see that too?
Oh yeah.
Man, look at this play. This was last year, I'm pretty sure, right? We were up. Yeah, this was last year. We were up 21-20 in the fourth. Look at this play from Rooster, man. I know it was last year, but still, we need this guy back.
Sacked. Back at the 35. Guess who?
Here we go. It's coming up right here.
Jermaine Johnson. Loss of 9. Van Dyke out of the backfield hits Rooster. Ready to throw. Rooster took a hit and keeps going.
See, that's the Rooster I'm talking about.
Man, oh man, we need that. We need that, man. The speed, the yards after contact, and it's so frustrating because we don't, at least right now in this offense, whether you want to point the finger at Gaddis or the players or whatever, we just don't see enough of that explosiveness this year. When you go back, even let's say and look at the Virginia game, now I know that's an obvious one because we only got field goals, but I think our longest completed pass was like 23 yards. I don't have the stats in front of me. I think one of our longest runs was like 18 yards.
Right. Nothing explosive.
Yeah, it's definitely, and I'm curious. I really think the tempo of the offense played a part with the struggles that TVD had, especially earlier in the season because we were more methodical earlier than we are now. But I wonder I just wonder what kind of impact that might have on all the players, right? But you're right. I mean, other than a couple flea flickers, there hasn't been a lot of big excitement on the offensive side. It's just been the good part was just a methodical go down the field, and then we kick field goals for a living. So
well, what about for people in the chat that had an opportunity to watch my walking and venting today? Now I realize that not everybody watches those, not everybody's interested, not everybody's had an opportunity. What do you think about the people that are screaming and yelling for Gaddis to just go ahead and be canned and promote Frank Ponce to be the new OC? I know it's kind of silly talk, but again, I see it just flooding my timeline. So I like to at least address it and just get opinions.
I mean, to me, that would be the knee-jerk reaction. I could see, so you could say, but I mean, you gotta look at the whole body of work. It's not just the play calling. I mean, it's injuries. We can't protect in the passing game. We can't do any run blocking. We can't get any runs. We can't, defensive back. It's just everything's a muck right now, dude. I just now, yeah, I agree with with the red zone or the dead zone play calling. But still, I guess I'm just on the fence because the coaches aren't out there making the plays. The coaches aren't out there turning over the ball. They're not out there getting all these penalties. But the players are only running the plays that they're told to run. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, and I mean, no matter what, you can talk yourself in circles with this topic. You honestly really can. It's an endless conversation, in my opinion. I will say, just being blunt and honest, I would not want Frank Ponce to be the OC, just personally.
Yeah, I don't know how anybody looks and says, okay. I mean, all a coach can do is put players in a position to win, right? And I think it's not hard to look through video in the game and see how many times we've got a wide open receiver, right? And we miss the throw, or our O-line gets blown up immedially on a run. I mean, there's no coach in, I don't know, maybe Saban or somebody could come up with some sort of gimmick that would make it work. But I mean, the players have to execute. For any program to work.
The problem is when you say that, everyone instantly wants to attack you and thinks that you're defending Josh Gaddis and you think he's the greatest OC ever. It's like there can't be an in between, right? And it pisses me off so much whenever people do that.
Now, if the offense, if the players are out there executing and we didn't have, hey, it's the hoodie chick. What up, girl?
Melissa's about to get fired. Melissa,
yeah,
do not blame me.
If they weren't doing the turnovers, if they weren't doing the penalties, if we weren't dropping passes, if we weren't missing wide open receivers, if the receivers were getting some separation,
Yep, that's a big one.
Okay, but to me, it's everybody's in the mix right now. Me personally, I can't just say it's just the whole thing.
But see, my argument was, again, as frustrated as we might be, and then I want to give Melissa an opportunity to speak because she's probably fuming over one of these topics, so she's wanting to pop in.
I haven't been listening.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
I had no, I just literally came back. I was on the stream for 5 minutes, and then I've been working, so I haven't even gotten to listen to anything.
I got you. Okay. My question to everyone in the chat, because I haven't had a chance to read reactions on my walking and venting yet, do you really want to start over again with a brand new offensive coordinator? Like, really think about it. And now, like I said, I'm not defending Gaddis, and that's the problem because people are going to twist it and say that I am. But I'm just saying, do you really want to start over? That wouldn't be a full, new coaching staff. We're not talking about firing Mario and bringing in all new coordinators and all this stuff. But do you really want to come in and install another new offense again? Let's assume TVD stays. I don't think he's going to go to the league. He might hit the portal. I don't know. But if he stays, that's yet another offense that we're installing. And maybe it takes off. Maybe it is better. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. I guess I do get, as frustrated as I've been, I do get sick and tired of starting over. And it seems like it's like every 2 years, start over again. And then we have the growing pains thing again. Then it's going to take time. Then we got to get his guys again.
I mean, I think you probably need to give him more than a year.
I agree.
But if we're putting up numbers like we did on Saturday, and we're not seeing any improvement next year and into the next year after that, then I'm on a live stream. Bye. Sorry, I'm at work. My friend's like, who are you talking to? I'm like, I'm on a live stream.
I got you. I said
no. I think I think we need to give Gaddis at least the year and next year. But I mean, right now, if you look at some of the plays he ran, I think they even showed it on the game when they were showing a replay where there was like 3 receivers all within like steps of each other, and they were all bunched up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, that's not how you know. I mean, I'm not an offensive coordinator, but I'm pretty sure that's not how you run an offense and try to create space and do all these things.
Which we are also assuming that he drew it up that way. Just
That's
playing
true.
devil's advocate. I'm just saying,
I mean,
we don't know.
But that's the main question, and that's like all the arguments that I see on Twitter is how much of this is the coaching and how much of this is the player's execution.
And then you could also argue, well, maybe we bring in a guy who brings an offense that they actually enjoy and easier to learn, whatever you want to say. But I don't know. There's just so many ways to view this and look at it.
But to me, and then the question is, do we have the right guys on the field? And I said this last weekend, or was it last weekend? I don't know. The week's been a blur.
You've mentioned it. Yeah.
Where Kobe Young didn't start playing until week 4.
Right.
Tyler didn't look comfortable for a bunch of games, and then he got injured. Do we beat Duke if Tyler doesn't get injured? Do we score more points against Virginia if Tyler's playing, especially because Restrepo came back? So, I mean, obviously, that was Jake's first start, and he did enough for us to win. He didn't really make any mistakes. He had that one interception during the OT period, which didn't affect anything. So he did enough for us to win, but can we be better? Do we have the right players playing? Everyone complains that LT's not playing enough, but, they're rotating defensive guys. So, he looks that good because he's fresh. Is our defense going to be this good against a better offensive team? I mean, was it Jordan Travis threw for like 400 yards this past weekend?
It was quite a bit. I don't remember the exact number. I had it up earlier. I know Duke put up against a bunch of points against us, but 30-something of those points were because of our turnovers that, pinned the defense back. So I can't even really get a good depth on how good our defense is. We played well against A&M defensive-wise, but now A&M sucks.
North Carolina is the big one, I think, to look at from a best offense we played versus our defense.
Yep, I think you're right.
And even then, I don't even know that we were that bad. It's just our offense hasn't been that great, and I just feel like our defense is on the field more than it should be. So it's kind of – but, like, we're seeing breakout players. I mean, Cam Kitchens has been killing it. LT looks great. Mesidor has looked good. I think he got injured, though. I don't know what's going on with him.
But see, then that takes me back to what I was saying with – because people were actually saying the same thing for Kevin Steele. Not quite as extreme, obviously, because all the heat's on Gaddis with us not putting up a lot of points. Do we really want to take all these players and put them in a brand new scheme again literally next year and just assume that's going to fix everything?
I would not get rid of Steele. Steele's doing what he can with the players that we have.
Yeah,
I think he's done a pretty decent job. I don't know the whole 3rd and long thing, why we keep giving those up, if that's just one specific play call where we're doing like prevent defense and it's like the prevent win defense, like the Al Golden days. I don't know why we have such issues with that. But other than that, and then there was one play where I think Al Blades like picked DJ Ivy, and that's how that one long play ended up happening. They like almost ran into each other. But I think as we get more players in and Steele can develop them and stuff, I wouldn't get rid of Steele. And then I saw floating around on Twitter that Steele may not even coach for that much longer because of his age and things like that. But I wouldn't necessarily get rid of Steele yet unless he wanted to leave. But I think all the heat's on Gaddis and Mario's game management, because that whole the timeout thing with going for it or not going for it and then taking 2 timeouts and then we end up kicking the field goal anyway or punting. I mean, not field goal, punting anyway. Like, just take the delay of game. Why are we wasting timeouts? Like, the game management, some of the calls have been a little questionable in my mind.
I think as long as Mario's here, we're stuck with that. But that's just my opinion.
It's just the balance of the amazing recruiting that he's doing versus some of these questionable calls? Is the recruiting and these great players that we bring in going to balance out some of these questionable calls? Because I mean, no way did I think Cormani was coming to Miami. Like, I was at work and my friend texted me like, "Yo, we got Cormani committed," and my first thought was like, "Oh, he committed to Florida, right?" And he's like, "No, to Miami," and I was like flipping out at work. One of the doctors in the office was like, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah, I think everybody was excited after that, man, and that took some heat off for a day or two, off of Mario whenever that happened. But
well, and then we won this weekend, so that helped. But it was still a super ugly game, man. That was, I mean, you saw me in the chat. Like, I had to take the TV remote out of the living room and put it somewhere else so I wouldn't throw it.
Yeah, I'll take the win, but there was definitely more negativity surrounding that game than positive takes. And I will say,
a dub's a dub.
I do hate it for the players that are all in and are trying really hard, because I watched the presser like with Andy, right? Big time, 4 for 4 with the field goals. And, he's got a smile on his face. He's happy. He's like, yeah, like we won that game. That felt good to him because of what happened last year.
Yeah,
and
I was super happy for him, man.
All it is on Twitter,
with
though,
that missed field goal.
All it is on Twitter is people bashing the team. And I do hate that a little bit. I'm going to be honest. I do hate that for some of those guys.
But you know what? That's going to happen because we haven't been successful this year. And so we've got all the couch coaches. Sometimes people forget that these kids are like 19 years old, 20 years old. Like, I think it was Nigel Kelly's 18th birthday the day we played the Virginia game. Like, they're still kids. So it's easy for us to get frustrated and coach from home. But at the end of the day, they're also humans, and they're a lot younger than us.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all getting thrown into a new system,
Especially me. I'm an old man.
Well, you're younger than me, so you're calling me old now.
I'm the youngest one here, aren't I?
Yeah, I'm 36.
We established that last week.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well.
So you just called yourself an old man and you just insulted the rest of us.
I did. It's late night real talk. I get to be mean.
I've been called worse.
So then here we go. This is what everyone keeps asking me. If it's not TVD's fault, if it's not Gaddis's fault, if it's not the defense's fault, whose fault is it?
A little bit of everybody's.
Yeah.
Bingo. We all just answered the same. We gave the same response at the same time.
Win as a team and lose as a team.
And that's not just like a cliche, right? Like, I mean, it's one of the things I struggle with. The coaches will know immediately, but you see TVD or any of our quarterbacks throw a pass that's 10 yards too far or outside of their the range to catch it. Well, okay, is that the quarterback made a bad pass? Did the guy run a bad route? Did he? I mean, how the hell do you know?
You don't. But that's why it's a team sport. It's not just one person out there. So, I mean, we can all criticize certain things or whatever, but like at the end of the day, we got the W, and everyone has a part in the good things and the bad things. The defense gave up points. They didn't give up it, it wasn't a 0 on the board. I mean, so, and the offense didn't score a touchdown every time down the field. So the nice thing is, after the disappointment that we had, the week before, the team found a way to win with our backup QB, with injuries and all these things. We still managed to find a way, and we were away. So I'll take the dub.
I agree. And I will say that I personally, as frustrated as I get, you guys see me jump on here and wheel out the garbage can and screaming and yelling and throwing stuff. Still, at the end of the day, I would like to see this exact coaching staff that we have right now for a minimum, for me, of at least 3 years, unless it's just, I'm talking bad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mario's not going anywhere.
Of course, definitely not. And honestly, I don't think for the most part that much of this staff is going anywhere unless they choose to go elsewhere. Like, I don't think, like, it's same with Gaddis. I honestly don't think that Mario would can Gaddis, because it might have been Chris that even said this the other day. Was saying that he's looking for stability and consistency. And I apologize if I'm putting words in your mouth, Chris. Somebody said it. But I think that, if Gaddis can't take the heat, maybe he accepts a job somewhere else. But otherwise, I think most of this staff is probably locked in.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about Gaddis. I didn't follow him before he came here. But But what I'll tell you, just my opinion, is what he's trying to build makes sense for the defense that we have right now. Not that our defense is perfect, right? But if you look at our D line and the amount of players that we have on it and that we can rotate through, a methodical offense, again, as long as we are taking up time of possession and we're marching down the field, even if we're kicking some field goals, that I think will play to our favor in the fourth quarter, right? Against most teams, unless you're playing at Clemson or an Alabama or somebody like that that's got 5-star talent, through 3 layers deep, right? But we've got to have the players on the offensive side to be able to sustain those drives. And that, I don't think Virginia, even if we had marched from the 20 to the 20 and then kicked the same field goal, right? But if we had their defense out, 10 minutes more in the first half and in the second, I think that game starts to look different. And I think that's the biggest thing on Florida State can we march, take up the time possession? Can we march down the field?
Yeah, a big part
Or
of
is it
that
gonna
is
be just a
keeping
run and
Jordan
gun?
Travis off the field.
Is that Chuck Cook? Did I say it right?
I have no idea, Jordan. I call him Steve, but apparently he's not Steve tonight.
It's Chuck.
Chuck. Okay, I'm sorry.
Chuck, yeah. He's American.
It's some
Hard to
kind,
believe.
Jordan. It's some kind of hockey term. I don't know. I know nothing about it. I think it's when you score a goal or something and they say Kachuk.
What kind of name is Tua Tagovailoa? Like, what kind of name is that? Like, don't at me with that. Come on now.
Yeah, I do think I do get the point of, well, I do but don't, of everyone calling for heads to roll and stuff every time we get frustrated, because it's not like they're gonna take fans' input on. They're not gonna let fans come in and draw up plays, or they're not gonna let. I guess what I'm trying to say is fans just vent. Like, it's what we do. And the easiest solution that what everyone goes to is, okay, well, we bring in someone new and different because it'll look different. It'll be something else. Let's just get rid of what's there now. And that's kind of the instant knee-jerk reaction every time. And that's why I say I'm not going to pretend like I'm not guilty of doing it sometimes too. I am. But I'm just telling you that this time I keep harping on it. Like, I want it to be locked in. Let's keep these guys around for a little bit and let's see what we can do. And it could still get better before it gets worse. I keep seeing Canes fans say, well, don't worry, we've hit rock bottom. We've not finished losing games so far this season because I still don't think that we beat Clemson. Again, FSU, nobody knows. It's crazy. We could lose to Pitt final game of the season. I don't know. So I don't actually think we've quite hit rock bottom yet.
I agree.
I mean, what's our other winnable games? Georgia Tech, maybe? Where we're going to be favored? Because I think last I saw, we were FSU was like a negative 8.5 or something.
Yeah, they're almost a 10-point favorite at this point.
Yeah, it keeps changing.
Mm-hmm. Steve, you going for a walk?
No, I was just going to my bedroom. I'll chill.
Oh, okay. I got you. I'm just checking on you.
I don't have my computer, so.
I'm streaming from my phone.
I think we all are.
I think we've seen firsthand. I mean, we've been favored by how many points for the last 2 games? Or 3?
That's true.
I mean, we've been
What's
favored
that
every
worth?
game but Texas A&M, I think.
Yeah.
Man, that A&M game, you go back and look at the stats for that game, and like literally, if you just look at the stats and not the score, you would have thought we won that game.
North Carolina was the exact same, by the way.
Was it?
That's true. Yeah.
I was at the UNC game, so I couldn't bear to look at anything leaving that game.
Go out.
Now, I will say it does blow my mind. If you would have told me that there were 2 games this season that all Miami could muster was field goals, I would have called you a liar. I would have said there is no way, that is absolutely impossible.
I mean, I could have said that
Preseason,
against
sure.
Clemson.
But 2 games this year, only field goals?
We haven't really had a very comfortable looking offense.
No.
It's too late to do anything about that. Like, it's way too late in the year to fire your offensive coordinator and run something completely different. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, I think that would be like when we were talking about the punt stuff. That would be much more catastrophic. That would you want to see it hit rock bottom and get real wild to do that, because that'll do it. I do need to give a shout out real quick to Disturbed Villain. My man came in and dropped a $20 dono. He said, it's all love except when it comes to FSBoo. Hashtag hate week. Go Canes. I pre-recorded some videos for this week, Disturbed Villain, since I'm going to be in Miami. And I changed my outro. You know, whenever I say we're all one big happy college football family. For this week, I say we're all one big happy college football family, except for FSU fans. I appreciate the 20, Disturbed Villain. It's hate week, man.
It's a different rivalry.
No love this week.
Coop. Hey, Crip. Yeah, that was my puppy. I got a white German Shepherd. She about a year old now. He was asking in the chat. He thought he heard my dog was wanting to go outside. So
he looked like he was
yelling.
Like
a ghost. No, it sounded like a ghost.
Anyway, carry on. Where we at?
I'm scrolling through. I'm looking to see if anybody has any interesting comments here of something we can discuss, because I'm seeing a lot of people that are firing back at my statement about bringing in someone new, and they're saying, but we saw instant success with Rhett Lashley. Where was that comment at? Dang, I can't find it.
Rhett Lashley wasn't hired like week 8 of the season. He was hired in the offseason.
Well, Rhett Lashley came into, I mean, anybody was going to look good after the miserable Dan Enos, quite honestly. I mean, you didn't have to do much to look good after that horrible showing. So
I think firing him after FSU and firing him sometime through January are two completely different questions. One is like completely like, no, why would you do that? And then the other one is like, if you want to just move on or not. But then you have to buy into the fact that maybe this just system doesn't work with these players. If we're getting new players anyway, does it matter? I mean, this isn't Madden. You can't fire the offensive coordinator after FSU and expect to like put up 50 against Clemson the next week. Like, get out of here with that.
No, I don't see anybody getting let go like in the middle of the season. I don't see that
what the
happening.
question was, though? I thought the question was that. Like, should we fire him literally right now and then promote the other guy?
There's a couple of people saying that too. Yeah, there's a large portion of people on Twitter that say, if we're going to can him at the end of the year, why not go ahead and just do it now and get it over with and start building on someone new? But again, that's always
who would we
to
hire
go to.
In the middle of the season?
There were also people literally saying that after the Texas A&M game to go ahead and can him now. And we were, 3 weeks into the season, 4 weeks into the season?
Who are you trying to say to promote?
There's a large portion of fans that want Ponce. Yeah, because he was the OC at App State for 1 year in 2021.
The spread.
Well, and
I posed a question on Twitter about I posed a question on Twitter about who we should hire, and like people were throwing out a bunch of names, including someone was like, "Oh, hire back Rhett Lashley," and I'm like, he's the head coach. I don't know that he wants to drop back.
I was very curious when you posted that to see what the responses were, because like
you
said,
there's been quite a few responses today.
Everyone says fire,
fire, my phone.
And then they don't hit back with an actual answer as solutions for who it would be then. Now, again, like I said,
I'm throwing out a bunch of names.
This is all discussing something, again, that I don't think happens anyways, just me personally.
Yeah.
But it's still a discussion point, you know.
So if you run an offense like Georgia Tech's option offense, right? And then all of a sudden you say, okay, I don't want to be that. I want to have really any other kind of offense, right? And then I get it. Like that quarterback for an option offense might not transition into, you know, a more traditional pro style or running gun or whatever you want to do. Are we really like thinking that this offense is such a dramatic difference that the skill set of the players we have can't adapt? Or is everybody upset because of the play calling? Like, is it a scheme issue and the type of offense we're running, or is everybody think that the play calling is that bad?
I think
it's a little bit of everything.
Play calling. I don't think it's been the play calling recently. I think it's been execution. Like, was it? I think it was Texas, right, where we had Tyler Van Dyke like do a quarterback sneak on a third or fourth down. Like, it was a design quarterback sneak, like right in the red zone. I don't know about that.
I think it's a little bit of everything because, like, I mean, not that Tyler was going to win the Heisman, but he was kind of like a dark horse name on that list. And he's looked nothing like what he looked like at the end of the last, however many games at the end of last year. I mean, I don't know if that has something to do with us losing Rambo and Mike Harley as well. But he hasn't looked comfortable. And then he got injured, and Garcia struggled this last game. So, but some of the play calling has been suspicious. I mean, you can't deny that. Who runs a quarterback run with Tyler? I mean, he's not a mobile QB.
He's slow as crap, man.
I feel like Canes fans are pissed because they want to go air raid. They want to spread it out. They want everybody always. I mean, not really, but actually some. But I think people are upset because they don't like this power spread thing. Like, I think they want an actual real spread offense, airing it out. And the reason being is because everyone always preaches the South Florida speed, the South Florida talent, the fast guys that we have on our squad, the smaller O-line.
Bro, we don't have Santana Moss anymore.
But that's what I'm seeing, right?
Like, we
we
kind of ran like a pseudo spread last year, but I think a lot had the success with that had to do with the fact that we had Rambo and Harley, and we kind of ran up tempo. And Tyler seems to, be more comfortable running that up tempo, kind of offense. But we don't have our two number one weapons that we had last year. And then Restrepo went down, and that seemed to be the guy that was, he was most comfortable with. So is it the coaching? Is it the execution? It's, what came first, the chicken or the egg? I mean,
yeah. I mean,
chicken evolved to lay eggs. That's your answer.
I keep seeing so many fans that the first thing they say is take that type of offense back to the Midwest. We don't want it here. Which is why I think that they're not. I think most people are Canes fans, anyways, are not going to like it regardless. I mean, unless we're winning games left and right.
I don't understand. And again, this has been the most unique year. Like, my family hates Saturdays a lot of times because I'm always yelling and screaming at the TV. And but this year, like, I don't know how people look at it with any kind of not like fact lens that they look through and say, okay, so okay, it'd be great. Let's do a run and gun, offense. When we lost our best two receivers, and the number one issue we have on our receiving core is they can't get any kind of separation. But let's just go run them all down the field and throw bombs. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. And then
you just don't have the weapons for that.
That's right. I mean, it's like, again, I and I'm not going to say it again because I feel like I'm going to bore everybody, but we look at it right. Okay, so our offensive coordinator sucks. TVD doesn't look the same, and that's his fault. Okay, well, he lost his two best targets, and then 3 linemen, 2 receivers, 2 running backs, the ability to run. So we go one-dimensional, and everybody knows in the building we're going to pass 80% of the time. But we're surprised that he's not. I mean, I don't know how you look at it and you're shocked. I don't like it, but I don't know how we're surprised about it.
He's not been in a good situation the whole year, basically.
Right.
It's not the team we had last year with the weapons and a healthy O-line. And not that our O-line was amazing last year, but it's better than what we have now considering we have so many guys out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got those.
If we keep Manny.
What was your question, Steve?
Do you think Lashley would have stayed if we kept Manny?
No.
No.
But we didn't know Manny was getting fired when Lashley left. He left before the bowl game we were supposed to be in because he got offered the SMU job.
I think SMU was kind of putting some fillers out beforehand anyways. And, I mean, I think at that point to accept a head coaching job like that, I think he takes it either way.
And he was the OC there prior to coming to Miami, so that was, comfortable for him.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think Manny had any idea that he was going?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes I think some of this backdoor stuff happens. and some discussions happen behind closed doors, and sometimes there are some things that are kept from other people on the staff.
I mean, if it went down the way it was portrayed that it went down, I mean, Manny kind of got like done dirty. Like they were recruiting Mario before they even fired Manny. I mean, that's harsh.
I mean, it was, yeah, it was.
I was
That's what
like,
you're supposed to do.
obviously he wasn't the guy for the job or whatever, but like he's a human. Like, you know, I was rooting for him. I was pro Manny up until the Bama game, and then I was over it.
Oh, me too.
I got a
I got
question for the
roasted
coach, Coop.
because I defended him to the death up until the very end when I finally had to bury him. So,
Coach Coop, I got a question for you.
okay, hit me.
How can all these injuries justify our reasoning to keep Gaddis when it couldn't keep Manny?
I guess because Manny was in year 3 and we're a year 3 and done.
Yeah, we're year 3 and your starting quarterback goes down week 2, week 3.
I mean, I see what you're saying. But I just think that given the way that this program is, with what the fans are used to, again, you have people that grew up in the 80s, early 2000s, watch Miami dominate. When we bring in a new staff, we expect success within 3 years. They have to see something, or otherwise it's hit the door, next man up. We want to see something change and be different.
Well, can I just say there was no progression with Manny over the 3 years. That's the thing. I was like, yeah, there's injuries. Yeah, if it was year 1, but like we were bad every single year.
If you kept that roster going, I think you could have seen it. The biggest problem Manny had is he sucked at recruiting and he relied too heavily on the transfer portal. But I feel like the way that Manny, TVD, and Lashley ended that year, I felt like if we would have ran it back, it would have been something. We would have had a lot more success than we had this year.
I honestly, I thought TVD was going to save Manny's job. The way we finished the second half of the season, I really thought that we were going to, and then we lost FSU, but like we had 4 wins in a row. We knocked off NC State. They were ranked. We knocked off Pitt. They were ranked. And I'm like, TVD is going to save Manny's job. I think Manny's biggest mistake was not hiring a different defensive coordinator and trying to take that on himself and being the head coach. I think there was too much for him last year, and I think that was his ultimate downfall, because I think TVD almost saved his job.
Let me give another quick shout out here right quick to Slim Shady Canes, who came through with the 5, and he said Dan Enos had immediate success leaving here. What's the common denominator? By the way, Rhett Lashley not looking very good at SMU. And then let me also give a shout out
at SMU.
Let me give a shout out to U-Town also real quick here in case he's got to head out for the 25. He said, "Yo, Coop, we sure could use Cormani this week. I mean, if he wants to suit up, man, listen, U-Town, I'm cool with it. Whatever we got to do, man." I heard
like 11 of these recruits are going to be early enrollees.
And Cormani is one of them.
Yeah, like a majority of them are enrolling in the spring, which is really, really good to see.
Yep, and we need that because we need it. He also said, I think this team just doesn't know how to win yet. Too much being thrown at them with all these new coaches, and they're not picking it up. We need to get through Manny's boys. Appreciate the dono.
I hate
that. Dude,
I hate saying that.
Like, if you can't adapt to Gaddis' system, like, what are you going to do in the NFL? And if you're not playing to get into the NFL, why are you playing?
That's a good counter
they're
argument.
getting an education. You're getting a free education playing football at a top university. I mean, what's the percentage of players that actually go on to the NFL and are successful in the NFL?
It's pretty
I
slim.
want to know what the percentage of football players that leave the U with the doctorates. That's what I want to know. Because I don't think very many of them are here for an education. I think they're here to ball out.
That's true, but I mean, the majority of them don't make it in the NFL, and I mean, having a degree from UM is not too shabby.
I think Steve brings up that I find interesting is, so what would we look like right now if we had kept our coaching staff but made all the same investments that we're making now? That could be interesting.
Undefeated.
I don't think we have this recruiting class that we have coming in.
That's right.
But
I just go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that brings us back to the argument of if we're bringing Mario in, we're trying to think long term, which is the idea. I do agree that if you had dumped this money into it, you had Manny here. Even if Lashley ended up leaving and you bring in someone else, I definitely don't think we're 4-4. I mean, you're maybe 6-2, 7-1 potentially. But again, I
don't think we compete long term with Manny. Like you guys said,
Right.
He wasn't a recruiter. So what if we have 2 more wins this season than losses, and we say we beat Duke, we beat Middle Tennessee State? Like it's still, I mean, there was no progression with Manny, and I'm not okay with just going like 8-4, 7-5, and making some random toilet bowl game. Like I want to win. So I mean.
But see, it's tough for people to think long term because we feel like we've already been thinking long term, right?
For 20 years of mediocrity.
Right. And that's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying that that's the case for a lot of people.
Let me defend you.
Okay.
What coach have we hired since Larry Coker has been a long-term plan? Did we hire Randy Shannon for long-term? Did we hire Al Golden long-term? Like, who do we hire for long-term? When have we seen this specific excuse before?
We haven't been willing to invest.
Coker out of that.
We haven't been willing to invest. They haven't been spending money on the program for 20+ years. I mean, not all of a sudden Mario comes in. Now we're getting full new football facilities. They're going to expand the indoor.
No? Like, what coach was told to not win now? And in our last 20 years.
But they weren't given the resources to do it.
Yeah, most people don't know this. You know, the university took a lot of its money and put it into the medical facility. And part of the success that we're seeing now and the ability to invest is that medical facility is throwing off a lot of dollars now.
I mean, I'm appreciative of the money they put into the medical facilities, obviously, but I still would like a good football team.
Chris, I don't buy that.
Yeah, no, I mean,
no, I don't buy that. We have a top end medical facility, and yet all our players are injured. Yeah, can't do something about that.
Medical and sports medicine is 2 completely different things.
There's like a repair drill in the background to fix like a knee.
But yeah,
they haven't thrown the money at coaches like they have at Mario and given him the stipend that he had to hire coordinators and all. We haven't had that in 20 years. So yes, Manny was definitely at a disadvantage because he didn't get the opportunities that Mario was getting with money and whatever. But I mean, was it Ray Joseph who said like Manny like barely recruited him? Was it him that said that?
There were
he didn't even get an offer or something.
There were a couple.
Yeah, there was a few like didn't even get offers for Manny. I mean, no one can say that Mario doesn't know how to recruit. Mario is a top recruiter.
And I need
the issue, and even Oregon has said it, like it's game day coaching.
Yeah, and I feel like though I need people to understand that no one here is making excuses for Mario or for losing to teams like Middle Tennessee. No one is saying that's excusable. That's not what we're doing. I just feel like there are people that are going to take it out of context.
Oh, I mean, losing to Middle Tennessee, there's no excuse for that. But I'm not going to be like, oh, year 1, let's fire everybody.
Yeah, like I said, either way,
if anything,
at this point, I'm in it long term. Like it's got to be take this staff, keep it the same, give it 3 years, and then we'll figure out from there. But that's going to piss a lot of people off.
I don't think Gaddis sticks around for long term anyway. Because I mean, before this season, obviously, because he hasn't shown out as an OC this year. Everyone's saying he'll be at Miami 2-3 years tops because he's going to get a head coaching offer. So I don't think Gaddis sticks around regardless whether we let him go or we keep him and he leaves to do something else. I don't think long term. The only person that sticks around is Mario, and some of his like coaches he's kept like Aaron Feld, Mirabal, people that are close to him from Oregon, but. Does Steele stick around? Does he retire? Does Gaddis get a head coaching job? Like, I think our coordinators within the next 2 or 3 years are different regardless.
If you break, no. Gaddis isn't getting out of here with like 5 wins a season as a head coach.
No, I don't think so. Like I said, this was preseason that
Yeah.
everyone was saying that. Coming off the Broyles Award winning and all that.
If you break down our last 20 years of failure into two root causes, it was lack of investment and lack of recruiting. We fixed the investment side, right? And he's fixing the recruiting side.
So it was 2017 a fluke?
Oop, she went
No,
away.
I don't. I heard her question. I don't think it was a fluke. I thought Manny's D was amazing. Like,
What-
your defense is on.
It was.
Can carry you. Like, last game is a perfect example. You keep a team under a certain threshold of points, it doesn't really matter who you have on offense. You can get the win. And I think Manny had that D on lockdown.
Manny's in the right role now. He's a defensive
Yeah.
coordinator, and he's an amazing defensive coordinator. He's just not a good head coach.
That's where he shines.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, Oregon fans would make that point about Mario. Like, oh, why don't you just make him head recruiter? He's an amazing recruiter. He's not a great coach. That's what Oregon fans say all the time on Twitter.
No, you're right. They do. They poke fun at us a lot. They tag me all the time and say, Coop, this is what you wanted. This is what you asked for. We tried to tell you, Coop. They're tagging me up all the time. I also need to address here another dono from Slim Shady. He said, what did he say? People were surprised when they hired Manny, who had never been a head coach. Then he had the results of a man that had never been a head coach. Here's your sign.
They're not wrong,
Unfair.
but I wasn't shocked. Dude,
Fair.
I was so happy when we signed Manny. I'm like, dude, if he can turn the whole team into what he made that defense. I mean, I know football doesn't work that way, but because there's offensive-minded coaches and defensive-minded coaches.
And I mean,
I was
again,
happy.
it's I can't lie about it. I was super excited about Manny. I can't hide because you can go back and watch my previous videos. I don't delete anything, so you can go back and see me partying. I bought the cardboard cutout. I was, this guy really loves the program, man. He's rolling up on yachts, smoking a cigar, pulling up in his Lamborghini. Like, he's a cool dude. He loves Miami, but it is what it is,
These guys talking a bunch of trash about Mark Richt. They gotta. I mean, that's no bueno. He started. Most people don't realize the necessity of an indoor facility for Miami. I mean, we have thunderstorms all the time. Every time there's lightning or thunder or whatever, you got to come off the field for 45 minutes or whatever it is. I mean, it's huge to us. And the fact he put in $1 million of his own money and brought that in. I mean, he did a lot, and to get the ball rolling. So.
Yeah, Ravello said at least Rick gave us that glorious 41-8 victory over Notre Dame, right? That was epic, man. That's still something that Canes fans talk about to this day, years later. That was big. And like you said, the $1 million of his own money. We had that big run. I know we ended up getting stomped in the ACC championship game, but it was still a wild ride, man. And it was the closest we had come.
Losing to Pittsburgh before that ruined it.
Yeah, it really hurt a lot. Nobody is going to want Gaddis now with his record. There will be plenty of schools that would take Gaddis, I believe. It's not going to be like Alabama or, some of these other schools, but some of these lesser schools would still take Gaddis.
Speaking of coaches here, I got a question for you, Coop.
Okay.
A little bit of a different direction. So
All
I
right,
started
cool.
thinking, all right, how did we get this recruit in over Alabama and whatever? And I talked to some buddies of mine, and one of them brought up a good point that Saban's probably not long for this world from a coaching perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's 1 or 2 years or 5 years, but he's slowing down. So how do you think that's going to impact Alabama's ability to recruit over the next 2-3 years? And what does that mean for the other teams out there?
First of all, to address the first part of your question or statement, we got Cormani because John Ruiz works for the Russian Mafia and wired him $5 million. That's easy. Easy answer for that one. I know that one.
Why would the Russian mob care about football?
Just trust me, it happened. Trust me,
I
it's
guess
true.
sports betting, maybe you can make that argument, like, oh, rigging sports betting. I don't know.
We dropped the bag. We called him up an hour before, got everything together, talked to his mom, made it happen. We swooped in, took care of business. For the second part of your question, oh gosh, now I feel bad, Chris. I got off on a tangent and forgot the question. Nick Saban getting old, coming out of Alabama, probably here sometime soon. What was the exact question though about the impact with recruiting?
Yeah. So how's that going to impact Alabama's recruiting? And then, based on that impact, what's that going to do for all the other schools out there?
Oh, I'm sure it's going to put a dent in Alabama.
They don't have our money.
I mean,
they've already complained about that.
Yeah, a lot. You see
Saban's
that.
the last stronghold keeping that program together.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would take some time. I mean, they've still obviously got some really good players there in their program. It's going to be interesting to see who would replace Saban, to see if they can take off and hit the ground running, depending if it's like a big name or a proven guy. But I do think that it kind of opens the door for some of the other programs like Miami, like us, that are kind of leading the way with some of these NIL deals and stuff that are more kind of with the times and going along with this thing. And we might start to see kind of a shift, maybe, so to say. I don't know. For me, I'm 33 years old. And I feel like that I've seen Alabama on top for so long, or they've at least always been in the talks consistently. So now with a lot of the changes to the way this stuff works, I think we kind of start to see a little bit of a shift there, which I guess you're kind of mainly focusing on Nick Saban and him leaving, which I think will impact it negatively for them. But I think that schools like Miami and stuff could greatly benefit from it. I'm ready for Nick Saban to retire. I'm ready to get that guy out of there.
Alabama's dominance started with the playoffs. Because, like, think about it. Like, right before the playoffs, there was, like, a different random team every year. It wasn't, like, the same team over and over again. But because of the playoffs, you can go in there with 1 or 2 losses, which is what you can expect coming out of the SEC to get back into the playoffs. And then you're going to tell me we're going to move to, like, what, an 8 or 16? What was the number? The new, like, playoff format? Coming in like 2027 or something like that.
Yeah,
like
it's 8, isn't it? It's 8.
Like
Allow these programs keep the wheels rolling. Like, I can guarantee you will be in that tournament. But like, think about it. Like back in like 2008, when just say Alabama hypothetically has to play like Georgia, there's your one loss. All right, bye. There's your natty. That's why we don't play FSU the first game of the year anymore. Because it didn't matter who won that game. It matters who lost it.
Well, wait. Is it actually 12? I thought it was going to be 8, and a lot of people wanted it to be 12. Is it actually going to be 12? Well, I could have swore it was 8, because I thought they said 8, and then I said, oh, I wish it would have been 12. Is it actually 12?
I mean, 12 doesn't make sense unless you have buys.
Yeah, I could have swore it was 8.
It is. It's 12.
It is? Okay, never mind. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Be made up of 6 conference champions, ranked highest by the committee, and the 6th highest ranked teams not among the conference champions.
Do you think that's going to change sitting out? Like, players aren't going to want to sit out because they have a chance at a title? Like, think about it. If Miami was like 8th, we're playing in, I don't know, like the Rose Bowl, but it's just a big bowl. Like, you know, player here or there sits out because they're going to the NFL. But I mean, if you actually have a chance to win a title, it may incentivize kids to keep playing.
Well, out of 12 teams, how many of those actually have a chance, like a legitimate chance to win a title? Yeah, but you gotta have several any given Sundays to get into that game. I don't know, man.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of teams getting embarrassed for sure.
Yeah.
Like teams decline.
They're going to have their hopes
Alabama,
and dreams
they're just like, nah.
Crushed, man. Crushed.
We'll take the Cheez-It Bowl.
But it does open it up for things to be a little more interesting, right? I mean, people do, other than, Alabama fans, of course, love seeing Alabama competing every single year, but everybody else is sick and tired of seeing these same matchups, And then you bring in teams like when Cincinnati got in and some of these other teams just to get demolished. Yeah, bingo, exactly. So I'm cool with it mixing things up a little bit, and then they'll kind of play it by ear and possibly tweak it after the first year they implement it, kind of see how it goes. I think once you open that door and show that you're willing to change it, that they might not be too afraid to tweak it even more the next year.
Do you think Mario's trying to push to be in the SEC?
I don't think so. No.
Isn't there something now? Hear me out. I got told this at like 3 a.m. in the middle of a flight on mid shift once, but it's just something about like the ACC has a higher GPA average requirement. That like the SEC could have like, I think it's like 0.5 or it's either a whole digit lower that allows them to like get like better players that don't care about education. Have you guys heard anything about that or no?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not very knowledgeable on that topic. I haven't
Like,
seen that.
we were talking about like recruiting, how like the SEC always recruits, and he explained to me like that's the reason why, because like they can hire this 5-star player who like literally doesn't care.
I don't know. I'll have to look into that. I haven't heard that.
Gee, I wish Melissa was here.
She got in trouble.
Yeah, I only see one thing pulling us into the SEC in any kind of near future, and that is if I've read that there were some talks about what was it, the Pac-12 and the ACC having discussions about having kind of their own. So I guess the thought was like the Big Ten and the SEC would do their thing, and they'd have a tournament between those two conferences as kind of a national champion, and then there'd be kind of a sub-conference that'd be the ACC and Pac-12 would do, and they'd have their different champion. I think if it got into that, I don't think there's any Miami fan out there that would be excited about getting into the substandard conference.
Yeah.
To fight. So
we can't even win our own conference. How are we going to win the substandard conference?
Now, I mean, have a lot of those talks stopped for now because the season has actually kicked off, or have I just been out of the loop? Because that was just every day. It was different, conversations with the conferences, and like you said, we're breaking off and doing our own thing. We're doing this, and now I feel like I've seen nothing. Like, is that stalled for now since the season is going? Or
they're a little busy, Coop. They're playing this game called football.
And I'm even asking everybody in the chat, like, because I could just be out of the loop. Like, I'm so laser focused in on just what Miami has going on that I've just not paid attention. It's very possible. And let me give another quick shout out to Slim Shady Canes. He's being very vocal about this because it's in all caps. I said the day they hired Mario, Miami would go 6-6. I do remember you saying that. If you follow the trend in college football, teams that bring in a whole new staff have a worse record than the previous year, i.e. UGA with Kirby. He went 7-5 with that talent his first year. And, I mean, that's fair. A lot of Canes fans, I'm not taking myself out of this, set ourselves up to be disappointed. All the 12-0, 11-1, 10-2 predictions, it got to everybody's head.
I agree.
I was called an absolute madman for saying 9-3, and now
I agree with Slim Shady. Because usually it's one or you toss a coin. Either you're gonna do worse or you're gonna do better. Depends on what you come into. Let's go ahead and go back to 2000 when Coker inherited Butch Davis. Now, of course, that was a whole different situation because Davis left, but. Yeah, I agree. If you bring in a whole new staff, basically what we did, it's kind of hard to just come in and do everything. But on the flip side, the teams we lost to. It's like it's vicious circle. Vicious circle, dude. I mean, I think personally, of course, this is just me talking, but let's just relax, see what happens. Okay, if we win, we win. We lose, we lose. It's the first year. Okay, let's just see what happens. See what kind of off-season stuff we get done, and then maybe be a little more scrutinize next season a little bit more. I don't know.
I mean, like people have said, after year one, we have some type of baseline. We can actually gauge something, right? I mean, we literally did not know what to expect going into this season. All everybody saw was big, flashy names, which means national championship.
Right. And don't get me wrong. I mean, this is excellent conversation, but I think we have worked ourselves into a lather that we can't get rid of. And that's just because, you know, it's been 20 some odd years. You know, we can't win anything, this and that. But I mean, let's just see what happens.
You know whose fault it is, Jordan?
Coop?
I bet it's Clemson's fault. So just think about it from this perspective.
I would have said me also.
No, I would have said Clemson. Just think about it. So, like, you got this stud named Trevor Lawrence going first overall in the draft. And then you see his replacement be an absolute, like, bum, at least from, like, what we've seen of him.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, Clemson don't look so scary. Oh, Florida State's losing to Jackson State. Wow, they're trash. So it's like you look around the entire ACC and, like, who's sitting in their couch in the middle of April being like, oh, God, dude, I hope we don't play Virginia Tech this year. Like, you know what I mean? So you got a struggling Clemson. You got a basically a Florida State team losing to high school teams. And, like, you see that and it gets your hopes up because you're like, well, if Mario can do, like, literally any better than Manny, like, that should be our title. And I think that's what perpetuated all the, like, oh, we're going undefeated beliefs. Because, like, Texas A&M was, like, the only, like, losable quote-unquote game as long as DJ Olungolaway – I'm going to make fun of my name again. As long as he's struggling. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like that's what got our hopes up is just the outside teams looking in on our couches in the middle of April thinking that we're going to lose to.
Well, and I think a lot of us just fell into the Oregon syndrome with Mario, I guess to say. And, you know, if you want to call me an apologist or whatever, I really don't care what you say. I'm just going to tell you what I feel. You know, yeah, everybody, okay. So you got all these Oregon fans laughing at us for what Mario is doing here, but yet those knuckleheads, they weren't doing all that when Mario was winning all those games for them up there either. So let's just sit back, relax. We can have, you know, banter all the time, but sometimes people are just being plumb stupid. They're thinking, but their heads up the ass.
Now, I will say the chat's bringing up a very good point here. Another talking point potentially. Divisionless ACC next year.
Hate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be tough for us.
Harder for us.
That's going to be much harder for us.
Weak. Yeah. But that's why people get upset because the Coastal's been so bad and we have like, I mean, that stat of like how many 4 and 5 stars like each team, ACC team has or whatever. We have all this talent. We should be winning and we're not.
Look, we're in another
Every
situation.
year I go into the season.
We're in another situation to where the team that is going to represent the Coastal this year only beat us by 3 points.
You know, I don't think a lot of people realize, like, what is it, five out of the top 20 teams are ACC right now?
We beat the ACC champion last year.
We're in the top 25? I think there's 5.
And yeah, I mean, you're right, Melissa. Yeah, we beat the team that represented the Coastal in the ACC championship, which is a trend, something that we like to do, apparently.
And their quarterback went in the first round of the draft.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about Pickett?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it is going to be tough. I hate to say it, but next year is see, that's way too early to get into that. But, I don't think the struggles are over yet. Next year, there's going to be those same people that's starting to gas everybody up and whatnot, and you start to build up some of that hype, even though it was a struggle this year. I don't think it's a night and day difference between now and next year, which it's hard to say that, right? Because we don't know if there's going to be the same faces and all that. But even with that 2023 recruiting class coming in, how many of those freshman guys, even as early enrollees, are going to be playing game one for us? I mean, it could be a lot potentially. Again, we don't know.
Hopefully,
but-
some of those.
Well, they don't have a
Hopefully,
lot of
some of those
competition.
DBs that we have coming in.
Right. But it's
Listen,
just,
did you hear my question about the GPA?
I don't know. I don't know if she heard you just now.
What happened?
Melissa, did you hear my question about the GPA?
No.
Does the SEC have a different GPA requirement than the ACC?
Oh.
None of us really had an answer or an idea really with that.
I don't know that answer. I always thought like there was a specific GPA that across Division 1 that you had to have in order to play Division 1 football, but I don't know if each conference has certain rules.
Yeah, it's just
'Cause
something
I know
I'm.
doesn't the Big 10 have some rules about like certain things in order to join the conference?
Yeah, that's unfamiliar territory for me.
Go Blue.
Let me give a shout out here also to Mayhem Matthew because he's a Georgia fan. You know he's gonna come in here and talk some trash. He said, "Coach,
He'd be the guy to ask about the SEC.
He said, "The
Why is the
U."
Georgia fan punching down? What are you doing, my guy?
Hey, Matthew's something else. Let me tell you. He said, "The U threw you into a loop. Miami looking like a bowl of dishwater soup. Miami is diarrhea. Got Mario screaming, oh, mamma mia." Thank you,
What?
Mayhem Matthew, for the 1999. He always has something clever to say about Miami. I mean, I appreciate you, Matthew.
Well,
I got to tell you, Georgia's losing
Go
to
ahead.
Tennessee on Saturday, by the way. I'm just letting you know.
I think that too. I will say I tweeted something about Brandon Ennis, and I had all these Buckeye fans all over my Twitter when that happened. And this one Buckeye fan who was actually normal was like, "Yo, Miami and FSU needs to come join the Big Ten." And I was like, I don't know if that's going to happen. And then he said, I heard they were doing something in order to qualify to get into the Big Ten, but I don't know the rules for that. But I also told him I thought we'd be a better fit in the SEC.
Big Ten is all
So-
northern schools, though. Our boys don't want to play in the snow. Like 9 out of
Yeah,
10
that's why I
years.
said I think the SEC would be a better fit. But I mean, we don't want to be playing in like Michigan in November.
Bro, we can't even beat Pittsburgh in
Yeah.
late December. Like, get out of here with that.
I personally have no interest in going to the Big Ten, but it's for a lot of it's a lot of selfish reasons for me, just to be honest. So,
You know, the strategic hire we need to make. We need to find whoever is in charge over there at Ohio State for paying off the referees. We need to get that person. They've gone under the radar for a lot of years and not gotten caught.
I need to have a
lot of
discussion
Ohio
with my
State
new Buckeye
friends.
fan about that.
I have a lot of Ohio State friends just being in the military, just random guys here and there. You know, I'm from like Arkansas. I'm an Ohio State fan. Oh, cool. That's nice. Not making fun of you, Coop, by the way. But like a bunch of dudes, just like I always bring up like 2001, 2002. Like I always bring it up. Like you ruined our program, you bunch of cheaters, and they just don't want to hear about it. And then I remember the other day, the ESPN rebroadcast the game, and like 4 of them tagged me on Facebook. Like the scheduled event. I'm just like, all right, guys.
yeah, I do not like those guys. They're not winning the national championship. I think it's Tennessee's year. I'm not even playing. Not just because they beat
Absolutely.
Bama. Like I think
Middle
Tennessee's no. No, I'm telling you, I really think Tennessee's got it this year, man. It's wild. I can't
I
believe
don't know.
I'm
Tennessee,
saying
Georgia
that.
is going to be a great game.
I think Tennessee takes it to Georgia. I'm serious.
All right, I figured out what happened to Middle Tennessee game. The Tennessee players, some of them went over and put on Middle Tennessee jerseys. There you go.
Makes sense.
Does he have that like prodigy quarterback, the one with the mullet that we've been hearing about for years?
Who?
I don't know. There's like some like mullet kid in the middle of Texas. I think Tennessee got him. Some like prodigy, like the next Peyton Manning and crap. You know what I'm
Honestly,
talking about?
I don't know. I have no idea.
There's like It's like some like next 5-star quarterback, and he has like a mullet. That's like all I can remember about him. Who's their quarterback?
Tennessee?
Yeah.
That Hooker
Middle
dude, ain't
Tennessee
it?
or Tennessee? Hendon Hooker. He actually played at Virginia Tech first.
The Hooker.
Okay, so it's not the same guy then. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, I
But
thought
look
you
at
were.
what a difference changing systems makes.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you guys watch the Ohio State Penn State game?
I didn't.
No.
The Ohio State.
So I was watching that in the airplane seat, and then I was watching our game on the stream because we weren't on TV, obviously. And and I was just, it blew me away the plays that the receivers on Penn State went out and made. Right, like then you think about our team. What would TVD look like in it with in a system that had a receiving core that went out and grabbed stuff they weren't supposed to catch, right?
Well, I mean, we all knew that was going to happen coming in with losing Rambo and Harley and like all the young receivers. We all knew that was going to happen. That was a very big question mark coming in.
Why didn't we transfer portal? I mean, Rambo's a transfer himself.
I mean, we did grab some guys.
Who
out
says
of the
we
portal.
didn't try?
I mean, how many guys
Latson.
on the squad right now are transfer portal guys that Mario got? I know there's Mesidor, there's Caleb Johnson,
Colby.
Parrish, Colby. That's 4.
Latson.
5.
Was Latson before or
Uh,
was Latson with Mario or is that Manny?
I think it was Mario, wasn't it?
Isn't Colby a sophomore?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember for sure. Somebody
Yeah,
in the chat
Colby's
will
a
let us
sophomore.
know.
What about
Mario
Lichtenstein
Liechtenstein is another one.
from
That's 6.
UCLA, I think.
I mean, we definitely did.
We
hit
have an
up the
offensive
portal.
lineman. There was an
Parrish.
offensive
That's what I was about
lineman
to say.
that
It's
came
like
from
a
Oregon.
5-star offensive lineman
Mhm.
that came from
He
somewhere.
like benched like 800 pounds or something.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking somewhere between 7 to 10 players that Mario got out of the portal, and a lot of those guys are, again, we already know this, a lot of the big impact players that we have on our squad right now.
I mean, Mario did really well in the offseason considering he had like skeleton staff. I mean, you can't hate on him for that. He kept the recruiting class, added to the recruiting class, and brought in some really good transfers. I mean, look at what Colby Young's doing. And then even Lucius Stanley, the guy from UAB.
Oh,
I
you
mean, he got
mentioned
some
Lucius.
significant carries.
You mentioned Lucius. Jordan's excited.
I love Lucius. Every time he comes into the game, I'm like, yeah, Lucius.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I think some of those walk-ons actually potentially have a bright future. I'm a fan of Lucius. I'm a fan of Terrell Walden also. So I need to give another shout out here right quick to Slim Shady. He said 6 head coaches in 18 years, and you wonder why we lose to less talented teams. Once again, here's your sign. Which is why I keep saying, Slim, that I want to retain this. And people are hating on me because I'm not making excuses for Gaddis, but I want to give it 3 years and see where we're at. It sucks, I know.
Well,
but
I will say, Mario's a proven head coach. Manny was not. I don't think Manny was ever going to be the answer. I think he was just a popular guy because of what he did with the defense in 2017, and that's what happened. It was an easy hire, but he was never the long-term solution. Did you guys address the whole Jalen Knighton rumors?
We did, yeah.
The what?
Okay.
Yeah, the only information that I had was a family member told me that Jalen Knighton said that he's staying for now. But I don't like being the insider person and that those people can be wrong because the only person that's really going to know is Jalen. He could even say something different to his family, right?
Yeah.
But I've heard he's not happy, though. He's definitely not happy. But
I wouldn't be happy if I was fumbling that much either.
Right.
And I hate to pick on your boy Rooster again, Coop. But I have to say, I hate to say though, I'm real anxious to see what Citizen Kane does in the backfield, Javante.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I mean
that hurt when they said he was out.
That's one of my Louisiana boys there.
I get it.
That was another recruit we stole from Florida.
Yep.
When you look at some of the guys in that room, I mean, I wouldn't blame Knighton for transferring, honestly. that's a
What about
personal
Chaney?
thing. I'm just a fan of Knight, and I just like him. Again, he's
What about Chaney?
I don't know what the heck to say about Chaney. Every single year, it's Chaney's the complete back, and then he gets hurt.
It's not complete if he gets hurt all the time.
It's
You got to be on the field to be complete.
I already saw the arguments on the Facebook groups. Don't panic, guys. We'll have Chaney next year. But last year, the argument was, don't worry, guys. Next year, we'll have Chaney.
Where's our medical facility?
Here.
I don't know about this, but Parrish looked good in this last game.
He did. He runs hard.
Stays on the field and he doesn't fumble.
I'm
interested to see Citizen next year.
If we can get the offensive line healthy and get these recruits coming in next year and get them started up,
Do we have any running backs in this 23 class?
I was looking the other day. I don't think so.
I was about to say
No.
I don't think so either. We can actually just check while we're on here.
There's 2 cornerbacks, 2 linemen. I can remember.
Here, we'll just
2 linebackers.
I'll put it up on the screen right quick. Where are we at? Oh, my bad, guys. I was looking way down here at like 30s and 40s. That's right. We're top 10, aren't we? My bad. Where's Florida State?
Right over
at?
that Gator.
Florida State on that
Hold on.
list.
Where was Florida State at?
They're
Hold
19.
on. Give me a second. Whoa.
They're 19.
Jeez, I had to scroll so far. Hold on. My finger's cramping. I had to scroll really far down the list.
It's
Okay,
the
hold
only thing we can. It's the only thing we can talk crap about.
Okay, so let's
It's
see
not an
what
accomplishment, Coop.
we got. Cormani. I'm not gonna go through each and every one, but I was just looking to see if we had a
2
running back
5-star
in
plus
here.
guys. Who knew?
No running back currently. Nope.
Don't we have like 6 or 7 5-stars, and every time they're a 5-star, they sign with us, and then they get bumped to 4-star or some crap like that?
I think the current 5-stars of Carmani and Mygoa are both 5-star pluses, and then Jaden Wayne's a 5-star. Is anyone else a 5-star?
No.
Or did they get bumped to 4?
Rashad
I
is
think
4.
those are the 3.
Malik Bryant's 4. Riley Williams is 4. No. Ton of
Was it
4-star.
Samson is a 5-star, the other O lineman we're going after.
Oh, that we're going after. Yep.
Yeah, he's not
good.
yeah, but I know my go is working on him.
Spiratrix said,
players
Coop,
thing,
look at the
so
list
that's-
after December 15th. Bet FSU moves up. I mean, I can't argue. I mean,
They could.
you got to put pen to paper, right? Which hasn't happened yet.
But-
I get it.
and they
But,
could
like,
move down.
Honestly, it's the only
They
thing
could.
we have against FSU right now because everybody knows FSU is favored to win the game this weekend, so it's hard to trash talk. The only thing we have right now is our 2023 recruiting class. It's the only thing it's like the bright spot in all of like the darkness.
I mean, we got our medical facility.
I am going to
If we
try.
beat 'em,
Listen.
though, oof.
You can't say this to me when I'm at
Wow.
work. All right.
Wow.
No, we
You
do.
can't- I am a product of UM's medical facilities.
They're going to get heart attacks, and they're not going to make it because they don't have a state-of-the-art facility.
Ooh, so what about let me get some participation in the chat. We won't go too much longer tonight because I'm not gonna lie, I have so much stuff to do before I leave for Miami on Tuesday. It is unreal. Like I literally have no time for sleep. But I do want to ask the FSU fans in the chat how they realistically feel about the game. Like you don't even have to give a score prediction, but are you confident that FSU is taking care of business? Because we already discussed this to kick off the stream. Well, rivalry game, throw the records out the window. How are FSU fans feeling? You can give a score prediction. You can, because what was it? Somebody said. Spiratrix said, I think FSU wins 44-14 if they had Garcia at quarterback. And we talked about the QB situation, about how we think it'll be TVD. We know TVD wants to play. He was almost ready for Virginia, but wasn't quite there. So we think that it's TVD. How does everybody feel?
How do you think they gonna feel, Coop?
They're gonna be confident as heck, Joey.
Listen, if I was an FSU fan, I would be very confident that we'd be beating Miami. Honestly, FSU has a better team this year. I mean, and you know I'm a diehard Miami fan, but I'm not. I said it when I guest picked for Virginia that I don't think we're favored to win any other game this year. And FSU, especially the beatdown they put on Georgia Tech.
Yeah, but you didn't
I
know
have
that
no
he dug up
confidence.
Manny, though. He lifted the curse, so we're winning out. Just kidding. I think Florida State's going to beat us I'd say something like 38-7. I think it's a beatdown.
I mean, the rivalry games with FSU, the games are usually close regardless. But I
Do you think that's one way though? Because I feel like it's only been like that when FSU was crap. When they would play us, it would be a good game. But I feel like the years that we've been crap.
No, in 2020.
Walked away with
Oh
it.
no, 2020 we beat them. I don't know. Even in the Jameis years, we didn't get there was one year with Jameis where we were ahead at halftime.
Are we in any head-to-head battles deep with Florida State for any recruits? I need to know that because I don't follow it closely enough. Because that's something that, again, why I say that when we talked about this earlier in the stream about it not necessarily being a must-win game, but there could be some big impacts from this. If we come out and get smoked in this one, if it is like a 44-14 game and fans are evacuating at halftime, that wouldn't be a good look. But I don't follow recruiting close enough, so
I'd have to see because I know
Hakeem Williams. Some people are saying FSU lock.
Hakeem committed to FSU already verbally.
Coop, go on the players.
I mean, I think we're still actively
just scroll
trying
down.
to recruit him, but Hakeem already committed to FSU. So this would be a flip for us if Hakeem were to come to Miami. Is FSU trying to get Samson?
I don't.
Because who else is on our radar? Samson, Desmond Ricks, Brown.
I said at the moment you probably follow recruiting closer than I do. I usually try to avoid it.
I can't look it up because I'm just on my phone. If I was home and on my computer, I could give you a lot more information.
Yeah, I get so frustrated with recruiting. So frustrated.
I follow it constantly.
Coop, bring up the list.
I'm probably too obsessed.
Bring up the list.
Yeah, it shows on the side if they're not committed yet. It'll show what teams are in for it. So just quickly scroll down first page and see if there's anything Miami and FSU.
Let's see. We're looking. Where's the option to view? Because I don't want to look at just Miami here.
It's at the top.
This is our
go
offers.
to football, or go to 247, the normal 247 recruitment home, yeah, and then go to players.
The rankings.
Yeah, I think so. And it will show who they committed to on the side.
Okay,
and then,
I got
if there's a 50-50, it will show both the schools there. See, right there.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, with Alabama. Okay. Yeah, again, I navigate this site sometimes, but probably not as much as most of you guys do.
I don't even go on that site. Literally, I get so much information just from different pages on Twitter. But I follow recruiting a lot. Me and one of my friends in my Kane support group text. That's our text name is Kane support group. Talk recruiting a lot. He's the one who messaged me when we got Cormani, and he's like, Cormani committed, and I was like, to Florida, right? And he's like, no, to Miami. He's like, why would I be excited about it if he committed to Florida?
So I've got Samson on here. He has an offer from Florida State.
I don't know who his
He's got offers from everybody, so.
Yeah, I don't know if he's narrowed it down. I'd have to check his Instagram or his Twitter. But again, I'm already on my phone, so it's hard.
What about bring the pain?
Can you
bang?
just stop putting salt in the wound? Let's not bring up Middle Tennessee anymore, all right? Jeez.
Yeah, I need to get more into recruiting. I've been talking with a couple people. My Southern twang's kicking in again. People. I try to hide it, guys. Sometimes it creeps out. There's nothing I can do about it.
Southern twang.
I'm gonna go wash my clothes. Go turn on the washer.
Go out in the creek.
I hear it. I hear it when you say
rat.
my name sometime. The way you say Melissa and you put like a UH at the end.
I'm trying, guys. But yeah, I'm thinking about getting more into recruiting this offseason. We'll see.
And Canes basketball.
And Canes basketball. Everybody's trying to get me. Do you know that there was one time, Melissa, that I bought a basketball goal and put it in my room and did one Miami Hurricanes basketball game, and when the players would dunk, I would switch to the dunk cam, and I had a webcam taped to the basketball goal, and I would run up and like dunk it.
What's a basketball goal?
A hoop.
But no one watched it, so I didn't do it anymore.
But no, the Canes
myself.
basketball team had their exhibition game today. They looked pretty good.
Yeah, didn't they win by like 30 or something?
Yeah, we were playing a no-name team, but we have a couple transfers that are going to be starters, so it was good just to see them play another team. Nigel Pack and Norchad. It was good to see, but Norchad looked like a beast. I'm excited for him.
Spiratric says, Coop, how many points do you think Miami needs to upset FSU on Saturday?
More than they have.
Fair.
I think we need to at least score a touchdown on this weekend. No, at least one or a few.
12 field goals?
Taking away the Bethune game more than any points we've ever scored this season. And I don't count the Bethune game.
I'm going to say we need at least 30, over 30.
Yeah.
Yep. 35.
I think that you and I even talked about that, Melissa, when we were talking about the FSU game. We were saying 30 to 35 potentially. And that's being dead
That was
honest.
after we finished. I think that's after we finished the interview.
Mm-hmm.
Because then we started talking about helmets.
Right.
And how I hate the black helmets, that they should always be white.
I just hope it don't come down to a field goal for Florida State.
Listen,
pretty gusty.
If the game came down to just to FSU kicking a field goal, I'd be very happy that we kept it that close.
You're in a great spot.
It ain't like they're gonna make a field goal anyway.
I said it on the guest pick for Virginia. I was like, don't be selling your tickets to FSU fans. Like, Canes fans need to come up and show out. Like, we all know that FSU is a better football team than we are this year.
Yeah.
But I don't need to. I'm going to be at this game. I'm going to be tailgating. I don't need to hear the war chant over, let's go Canes chants. Like, Miami fans need to show up. Support the team. This shouldn't be an away game for Miami in Miami. Like, I know everyone says we're fair weather fans, but show up.
I'm going to try my best, all things considered. Like you said, knowing that Florida State's technically the better team, I'm still going to try to run my mouth and get into some fights with Florida State fans while I'm down there. I'm going to try.
Don't get kicked out of the game, Coop.
You guys are going to see me up on the, TMZ or whatever?
Yeah, don't punch security. Don't be that girl.
Let me give one last shout out to Slim Shady, who pulled up with another 5. He said, I'll take it even a step further. 3 head coaches in 5 years, 3 OCs in 4 years, and 3 DCs in 3 years. The trinity of doom for any college football team. No, and I agree. It is very tough. Again, I've said time and time again, I don't want it to be a scenario where we just continue to cycle more and more people in, hoping that we strike gold and win the lottery right out of the gate, because the chances of that happening are pretty slim. There's always exceptions.
I mean, we can't beat Tennessee.
Some people make it happen. It's true. Yep. But at the end of the day, I'm at a point to where, since we're pumping the funds in and recruiting is still looking like it's going well, all things considered, I'm in it for the long haul at the moment. That's just where I'm at. I appreciate it.
But I will say, if fans want, change, they need to show up to the games. I'm sure that so many people that are recruiting, for other schools that are against us, are going to show half-empty pictures of Hard Rock Stadium, or more away team fans there than Miami fans. Like, show up, support the team. let them hear your support, and I bet you they're going to play better when they have more people behind them, and we'll get more recruits in if we make Hard Rock feel like it did in 2017 when we played Notre Dame.
And that South Florida culture. I mean, my parents even dropped their season tickets. They had season tickets since the Orange Bowl. And they dropped it. They're like, why? The Canes suck.
They dropped it like before this season, or they're not renewing for 2023.
They dropped it, I think, like Manny's second year.
Oh,
they
okay,
dropped
gotcha.
it. But like their argument was like, we're tired of crying. Like that's what they told me. Like we're just tired of losing. Because like
I get
season
that.
ticket holders since like I think like '98 basically.
I get that. You know, you don't want to waste your money on a team that you don't feel the own school is investing in, but that's not the players' fault.
Well, because it was like because they tailgate just like you. They bring like an RV and stuff, and it's like an all-day thing, and
I don't have an RV.
wanted their Saturdays back.
No, I love
Like, they didn't
tailgating.
wanna
I
spend
mean,
all
I
day
didn't.
to lose.
I've only tailgated for one other game this year, but the one game that I didn't go to Middle Tennessee State. I gave my tickets to Canes fans, so my seats were filled.
That's fair.
So
And
I made sure somebody
hate,
was using my tickets.
I hate whenever I see people that decide to not go to the game and they just trash their tickets.
No, I give my,
Yeah,
like I said,
I
I
don't
have season
understand
tickets with
that.
my friend who lives in South Carolina, and his tickets and my tickets get used every game because he's only coming down for 2 games, but his tickets get used. Our 4 seats are taken by Canes fans every game.
Hey, and Robert Brooks says, Coop, Johnny Wilson will be a problem for your secondary. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. Again,
Coop, you
A
could
lot
be
of people are problems for our secondary.
yeah.
We have a
I
secondary.
mean, again, we're nobody's sugarcoating anything, man. Like we're not. Like I'm gonna be honest. Can I keep it real? Canes fans are basically just hoping and praying that we can pull out a miracle. That's what we're hoping. I know
I'm
nobody.
just hoping we keep it close. I just don't want to be embarrassed.
Right? Like, I would love to get on here and be like, bro, we're taking it to Florida State. Like, not a shadow of a doubt. I would bet the title to my house on it. We're just not there. I'm hoping I'm going to be the night before in the hotel room. I'm going to be on my hands and knees, and I'm going to be saying, please, if one game, if we could win one more game the rest of this season, please.
You know, I was saying it preseason. I was like, yo, we're a better team. We're going to kick FSU's butt this year, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm just like, man, I hope nobody bookmarked my Twitter.
Coop,
But no.
pray to the Manny cutout.
What's that?
I said pray to the Manny cutout.
Right. I'll bring him with me and just set him up at the tailgate and see
Lift
what
the
happens.
curse. You see like purple smoke come up.
But
So
again,
is there a score? Is there a score where it could be so bad that the planes start flying over Hard Rock again with the fire the coaching staff,
It's my
banners behind them? Huh?
margin.
I think
How much do we have to lose by?
I think that as upset as most Canes fans are, I say that. Never mind. I've read some of these posts from some of these people before.
Well,
I
will
mean,
say, when the planes were flying over Hard Rock to fire Al Golden, we didn't have the type of recruiting class coming in that we're having coming in next season.
okay, how about
Mario.
this? How about this? Have the banners ever flown to fire a coordinator or a position coach? It's always just been head coaches, right?
Yeah.
Like, would they gas up the planes to fire Gaddis, or no? Is that not worth the money?
I mean, who was funding the planes? We gotta have a talk with them. I don't have that kind of money.
Right. I don't know. If I'd be curious to know if anybody knows that in the chat. I'm pretty sure it's only been head coaches that they've flown the banners.
Yeah.
Under Margaret,
Didn't they fly a banner to hire Mario? Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
What was
like Mark Rick, his offensive coordinator one year? I'm like pretty sure we flew a plane for that. Then I barely you remember them showing that on TV.
I can't
Wasn't there a banner last year or something about Herb Street or like hire Mario? Didn't someone have a banner about that?
Yeah, I think it said something like you know what to do, or
There was like a
when
shout out to Herb Street or I don't even know, but I know there was some banners last year about not necessarily firing Diaz, but hiring somebody else. They were a
Right.
little kinder than straight up fire Al Golden.
I wonder how much that actually cost. Are we talking like 5 figures? Like, is it like $1,000 to $2,000? Is it like $20,000?
I think it's just like 2K now.
2K, because at one point they had like a site and they would have people contribute, and that's what I'm wanting to say. I think Steve nailed it. I'm wanting to say it was around like $2,000 to $2,500, something like that. Mr. Prime, thank you for the 5, my man. Hope to see more Ja'Cory Brown at QB. Now, are you talking about just in specific like run situations like we've been doing, or are you talking about play Ja'Cory Brown over TVD and Jake Garcia? I need to know.
I'm pretty sure the groundskeeper was pissed over the divot he had to pull out of the turf from that pass he threw last week.
Which I think that was his first ever pass at the college level, right?
Yeah.
So I mean,
is that an excuse?
No, wait, what do we mean? Come on, Coop. You thought UVA was going to win? At this point, man, it's tough for me to 100% lock in Miami for any game. I'm just being honest.
It's a different team every week.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that Ja'Cory pass. I mean, I know it was a bad pass, but we need to have him throw it a couple times, even if it's like out of bounds, just because otherwise everyone's gonna know he's running.
Yeah, I was hoping. What was it?
I'm not even mad at it.
When we brought Ja'Cory in, and I can't remember what we did. That was that weird scenario where we needed to score, and I was like, come on, let's like play action or something to throw him for a loop. Because like you said, Ja'Cory came in. I can't remember. It was when we were in the red zone last week.
We were on like the 10 or something.
Yeah,
bad red
like
zone
that.
calling. What else is new?
And we sent out Ja'Cory, and I was like, here we go. He's going to fake the handoff and toss it over the top. But I think something happened, and then we ended up bringing Jake back out. I can't remember. But
the announcers even said it. The announcers was like, oh, he's out here to run.
Yeah, maybe maybe that's something we see in the Florida State game.
Yeah, I'd like for him to see him do that little duck like the Eric used to do that.
Yep.
Ducking and just.
That's exactly what I said during the Virginia game. I said, do like he's going to fake, he's going to run it in and just drop it over the top to like Brantley or Mallory or something, or hit Kobe.
I think he's
one of those big body guys.
I think he's going to burn Florida State with that Saturday.
Good.
How good is Florida State's defense? I mean, I haven't watched them this year, so
my
TV doesn't turn to that channel.
I think the only Florida State game I have watched from start to finish was LSU and Wake Forest. I think those are the two that I watched. I mean, there are plenty of FSU fans here that could fill us in. Definitely. D-line and linebackers are good. FSU
when you guys
defense
played
is decent.
NC State, did they have their starting quarterback or their backup quarterback?
They had Leary for at least part of it. Let me see. No, it was Devin Leary. He went 10 of 21 for 130, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. And in that game, Florida State allowed 125 passing and 182 rushing. And they got 1 pick. But that NC State's third down efficiency was 2 of 13. Ouch. Interesting.
Didn't we only have 1 turnover last game?
We didn't have any.
Okay.
No, Jake threw a pick.
I thought that was overturned. Oh.
It was in overtime. I think it was the second overtime when he threw it.
Well, I guess I know what their focus was this week.
Right, so that doesn't get put down, right?
You're right.
Top Spiratric says top 25 defense. Okay, we'll see.
I wouldn't be saying that crap. Not if we win.
But that is interesting because I see, Chris, we're trying to look at, NC State got the win in that game. So what did Jordan Travis rush for in that one? He rushed for 108 yards against NC State. He was their leading rusher. I need to go back and watch that game, actually. I need to watch the replay of the NC State FSU game. What happened in that one? Like, it's probably going to be tough to give me a summary in the comment section, right? I missed that game, so I don't know what really happened there. They were up 17-3 at half. Oh, FSU put up 0 points in the second half of that game. That's tough. I'll have to go back and watch that.
See, that's the part I don't understand is they're supposed to have this amazing offense, but they get locked out of NC State like for a half. And I'm not saying that to talk shit about Florida State as much as it's like seeking to understand, right? So
I'm in the same boat because I didn't watch it. So turnovers and bad calling on offense. Ward got hurt that game. Okay.
I mean, to give credit to FSU, I think people were predicting NC State to win the ACC this year. Like, it was a bunch of people's dark horse, you know?
I had NC State representing the Atlantic.
Yeah, so I don't know about
I thought their quarterback got taken out in that game. I could have sworn.
Yeah, I can't remember which game it was that Leary went down. Mr. Prime with another 5 here, and then we're probably about to wrap this thing up if you guys are cool with it. So I can get my butt back to work and then maybe at least take a nap or something before tomorrow. He said Jalen Hurts fumbled his first play and he had a great career. TVD can't get off first read and Jake throwing interceptions to everyone. So Mr. Prime does want to see Ja'Cory Brown out there. And again, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Appreciate the 5, man. I just wanted to get some clarification to see where you stood on that.
That's trial by fire for Ja'Cory, though.
Yeah, and I mean, no, I'm not out here. I saw other people that said Ja'Cory came in and he threw it in the dirt. Might as well hit the portal too. Like, man, it's wild. Stay away from Twitter. Stay away from the Facebook groups. Your life will be much better because of it. Trust me, especially your mental health. Because, man, it's wild.
But won't it be great if we win? I mean,
like I said,
can't wait.
I hate having that conversation, but it would be kind of funny to be like, we suck, but we still beat you. Like, you know, I hate that, but with all the trash talk of them saying how bad we are and then to turn around and us beat them would be quite funny. It would be.
You're gonna lose a couple subscribers when you do that, though.
Absolutely. That's okay. I will sacrifice those.
You're gonna lose about 10.
The time I pretended to be a Tennessee YouTuber on April Fool's, I lost 2,000 in 24 hours.
What?
So
I remember that.
I wondered about that when you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got me.
I genuinely lost.
Same here.
I lost 2,000 subscribers in one day because I did that April Fool's joke and everyone believed it. Not everyone, but 2,000.
Did you delete it?
No, it's still up.
It's like that
You
boy
can go
that
search
went
it.
out,
I wore a
month.
Tennessee shirt. I took a
Yes, you
towel
did.
and covered up the U behind me, and I said, guys, I'm sick and tired of this. I'm done. I'm out. I'm a Tennessee YouTuber. Neyland Stadium is 30 minutes from my house. Rocky Top, you'll always be. Like, I know every word to it. Home sweet home to me. See? I could do it.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
And then I lost 2,000 subs because they thought I was serious.
To be fair, they can't be mad at you. That's your, like, local school.
Yeah, I mean, I've lived here my whole life. It's the hometown team, you know?
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad at you.
That makes me not like them even more. So, you know, whatever.
I had to go hunt down a phone charger.
I got you. I think I'm actually probably going to wrap it up. Like I said, this I've got some videos planned, probably 3 or 4 that I'm going to schedule that will upload throughout the week. That's going to be some funny stuff. I'm still trying to trash talk FSU a little bit. You know, hype this thing up, make it a little fun. And then anybody that is in the chat, any of you guys that are able to make it, I know Melissa's going, definitely link up with me at Caneswear on the Friday night before. That's going to be fun. There's going to be former Miami Hurricanes players there. There's going to be 4 or 5 other Miami YouTubers that are going to be there. And Canesware told me literally the more the merrier. They said, bring it, Coop. Let me see what you can muster up. How many
But I
people
mean,
can you get
really,
here?
everyone wants to go just to meet me, obviously.
The
Just
hoodie
kidding.
girl, right? Exactly. They'll be
You get a
lining
I
up.
special
work-
hoodie picked up?
I work Thursday night, and then I'm gonna sleep and then drive up just to come to this. But
Awesome. I don't
it's
know
a
if
2
I'll
for 1
be.
because my mom lives near there, so I'll go take her for a late lunch and then go to Canesville.
I'm just bummed that Burger 21 place isn't there anymore.
There's
Because-
a barbecue place that's there now that apparently is really, really good.
Okay. I'll have
That
to
place
check
is
it out.
always packed, from what I understand. It's like a chain barbecue place, but I've heard really good things about it.
You're not the first person to mention that, so it must be pretty good.
Yeah. I haven't eaten there, so don't take my word for it, but I've just heard good things. But there's a bunch of restaurants around there anyway. It's in a very well populated area, so if you're looking for food, you'll
Yeah,
find.
but Burger 21 was my jam. Like, we don't have
Yeah,
those
well,
in
you
Tennessee.
gotta
It's so good. They got all these
branch
different
out.
milkshakes. Like,
Branch out.
I've never even heard of that place.
I'm sad. I had it for the first
Coop.
time in the Tampa airport. It's so good, man.
Coop, if you want a good milkshake, you need to come to Miami for a baseball game.
I have heard that as well. Yep.
Get there
Hey,
early.
Coop, I got a
Lord.
question
3
for the
hours.
fans real quick, just because I secretly wanted in chat, just in case. So for the Florida State fans, how many points, like minimum, do you have to put up? Otherwise, your team sucks because they didn't score enough.
I'm interested to know this.
So
I
you
want to
just
know
type
these
it down.
answers.
so you're not asking like to win or to lose. Like, you're just purely talking if we don't put up this many points on Miami, we suck.
That's right. Yeah,
Okay.
they all think that. I'm watching the numbers, like 50, 70, 40, whatever. I'm just
Mhm.
curious. So, like, what's the minimum?
50.
Otherwise, they're garbage.
Oh my god! Imagine being angry.
And
you
our
beat
defense,
Miami
our
41-7
defense isn't that bad.
because you didn't put up 50.
Our defense isn't that bad. As long as our offense doesn't have 8 turnovers, I don't see us giving up 50.
Okay, so it looks like most are saying 30s. 30s, 28, 30s, 28.
But that's
to
what I said. I thought we
38.
need to put at least 30. The Miami, to put up at least 30 to have a chance to win. So I feel like we're all on the same page with that.
Oh,
I
and
can't see the chat. Is there a way to pull this up and be on the stream at the same time on my phone?
I
don't
don't
know.
think so, unfortunately.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
They're all saying Melissa's the best. She's really cool. All that stuff. That's what
I
I'm seeing in the chat.
listen. I can go back and watch this
Oh,
later and know
shoot,
that
you're
you're
right.
lying.
You're right.
That's not what I'm seeing, Coop.
30s.
Ah.
Okay.
Oh,
But
Anyway, it's
I
about
am-
time to
I
wrap
am
this
sitting
up,
here-
guys.
I am sitting here working and doing this at the same time, so at least I should get some kudos for that.
There you go.
Hey, Coop, you're kind of
a dick for that the other day though.
you were like, yo, people were talking crap about you in the stream. I sat there for an hour and 45 minutes. All you said was, yeah, Steve's pretty level-headed.
Got
That's really all
him.
you said.
Got
I watched the
him.
Whole damn
I
stream.
got you to
'cause
watch
said
the whole stream. I plugged in 6 extra ads just for Steve because I knew he was about to watch that thing from beginning to end. Thank you for the 25 cents,
I went
Steve.
back-
YouTube Premium,
I went back and watched it
Oh,
all.
you-
No ads.
Oh, man.
I went back and watched
So
the
does
whole
it-
stream. I mean, I wanted to watch my part to make sure I didn't make a fool of myself, but I actually watched the whole thing.
I was just like, why is someone mad at me? What did I say that was so bad?
Really?
Like,
I
why
could-
is someone calling me out?
I could have swore we were talking about you at one point. We said something else,
Oh, you
but
said like just like level. Oh yeah, Steve's level-headed. He keeps the conversation calm. Like Steve and Chris just
Weren't-
keep it calm or whatever. That's like all you said.
Weren't you talking about how to pronounce like his handle or something?
oh, I've got it now. Yeah, it's a hockey
The
term.
Kachuk?
When you score a goal,
Yeah.
everyone says Kachuk. I got it now.
It's a player, you bum.
I got it now.
Do you
Um,
it's a player.
It's a player.
Yeah, exactly what I said.
Coop
Exactly.
doesn't follow hockey, obviously.
So yeah,
Are you a Panthers fan? Who do you root for?
Yeah, I'm a Panthers fan.
Word, good stuff.
I like all the South Florida teams except
For the Dolphins.
I'm a
Me
Jets fan.
too. I'm a Cowboys fan, but I root for everybody else.
And my dad was born in
New
Hey,
York,
Coop?
and they were already a team at the time, so he kept them.
yeah.
Coop, does it say anything that the Florida State fans that have this awesome team aren't willing to to suggest that if they score less points than Duke and Middle Tennessee did, that their team sucks? I'm just saying.
Middle Tennessee did hang, 45 on us?
Well, so he said it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought
Tennessee.
as good as these teams are, they'd be throwing up like 70 on us. I mean,
why do we keep bringing up Middle Tennessee? Is this going to just be like the salt in the wound for the next?
We are going to hear
Manny's
about...
probably happy because he doesn't have to hear about the FIU loss and the Louisiana Tech loss anymore. Now it's just Middle Tennessee.
Middle Tennessee will get thrown in our face for eternity. It's
eternity.
Yes.
I'm going to be like 90 years old, and I'm still going to be hearing about Middle Tennessee State.
Mm-hmm.
And Coop's gang signs.
It just occurred to me, if we had the same type game against Florida State that we did against Virginia, we would have definitely won. Because they can't kick 4 field goals in a row and make them all.
Nope.
I think their kicker last year cost them that Notre Dame game. I can't remember, but I remember their kicker just missing. I was sitting there laughing. I don't know if they got a new one.
Was it wide right?
Yeah, it was wide right.
Do you know what I do after a UM team loses? I go back and rewatch like national championship games on YouTube that Miami won, or like the Notre Dame game from 2017. Like I can't end my day on a loss, so I'll go rewatch a win.
Stop it.
I just go rewatch a win.
So they're not confident in the kicker. They said it's the same kicker from last year. LOL, he's terrible. Okay, good to know.
Yeah, but Jordan Travis is way better this year.
Or whatever. What was our kicker's name? Bubba Baxton?
No, Bubba Baxton was our kicker.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Bubba Baxton was our kicker.
Yeah, before the Barrios brothers.
Who was our kicker in the Florida game? The Miami-Florida game?
That was Baxa, wasn't it?
That was just a couple years ago.
A couple years ago.
That was with Jaron Williams, right? That was our QB. I'm pretty sure that was Baxa.
That was when we had DJ Dallas and Travis Homer, right?
That was the year after we lost Badgley. Right? Or did we have Badgley in 20? No, I think it was Baxa.
Okay, they're saying Baxa.
We had Badgley in 2017.
Yeah, Greg said Baxa.
Yeah, we had
Canes
Badgley
Football
in
Talk
2017.
said Baxa. And
Yeah,
you guys,
I'm pretty sure that was Baxa.
For future reference, guys, anybody that's a Canes fan member is more than welcome to join in the video feed on these streams. Greg, Canes Football Talk, Ravello, any of you guys. Like, no pressure.
Yeah, they probably getting tired of looking at us.
Coop is sick of us already.
Yeah. Oh, well.
I'm just going to start doing these and turn off my cam and just let you guys run the show. Like, I'll just sit back and just hang out, chill, have a drink,
Yeah.
Be up to you guys.
This is a rare time where I can actually jump on from work because I have to work 2 weekends a month. So my weekends off are the weekends we have home games. So.
All right, I'm going to wrap this thing up for real, guys. I appreciate all of you guys, Melissa, Chris, Jordan, Steve, popping in, hanging out. Again, this wouldn't be as much fun if it was just another stream of me sitting here talking without you guys weighing in and bringing up topics and all that good stuff. So I'm very appreciative of you guys taking time out of your night to be on camera. And, of course,
better than work.
All the people in the chat hanging out, FSU fans, continue to bring the heat because at the end of the day, I love it. We love it, man. I want this rivalry one day to be a big deal again. Both teams to be on top, and it actually matter. One day we'll get there.
I want us all to be in the SEC and all 3 Florida teams be good.
Would be wild. That'd be
pretty sick.
Oh, especially when Miami comes to play LSU here in Baton Rouge. Then I can throw a party for you, Coop.
Yeah, that'd be a good time. We'll have to make that happen.
Hey, do you guys, I know you want to go, Coop, but real quick, do you guys remember when Miami came in and Virginia Tech came out of the ACC? Anybody else think the ACC was going to be like a powerhouse that first year?
That was 2004? Was that 2004?
Oh, yeah, we had Virginia Tech, we had us, Florida State. God, who was the other big team?
Boston College.
You had Michael Vick's younger brother. I remember that, but I was only 11 at that time.
I remember it being a big deal because that was my freshman year at UM at Miami.
Oh yeah,
my first game as a student at the OB was the Frank Gore overtime versus FSU.
Oh, I loved it.
But
Frank
unfortunately, my
Gore.
last game was the last game as a student was the last game in the OB against Virginia. So started well, ended horribly.
Oh.
Then
My
Larry
freshman
Coker's,
year was our best year of football for me when we still had Brock Berlin.
Oh, yeah, what was that?
2004.
4?
Yeah.
Then Larry Coker's recruits showed up, and it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just missed the good times.
I remember that game too, that last Orange Bowl game, and how packed it was, because it was like a moment in history.
I just remember the Metro Rail after the FSU game, that first game when we won in overtime. It was just a mix of sweat and alcohol smell on the Metro Rail riding back to campus. I'm like 18. I'm like, what is going on?
What year was that? The Orange Bowl came down?
2008 was the Virginia massacre. Yeah.
They have a name for that?
I call it the massacre. I was there.
If I hear
I
that,
did the
song,
senior
I
walk.
think of something else with Virginia Tech. I don't think of that game.
All right, y'all. I'm going to hit the intro. I'm going to head out of here. Not going to bed, unfortunately, but going to wrap the stream up. You know, I still think we got to hit them with this every week to wrap things up. I love that.
Seminoles going down, baby. They going down. Telling you. Market.
Love it, man. Look at us. We're all repping all day, every day, man. We don't care. We're ride or die. We bleed it. That's what we do. I appreciate you guys once again for hanging out with me tonight.
Peace.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having us.
Y'all have a good one.
I'll see you guys later.
Safe travels, Coop.
Thank you. Hey, man, that was awesome. That was definitely something that I needed before I'm going to end up hitting the road here in 2 days, man. 2 days, I'm hitting the road and heading down to South Florida to watch the Canes take on Florida State, man. I'm pumped. I'm excited. Again, I know Miami's 4-4. I know FSU's 5-3. The rivalry game, man. I'm always pumped and excited to watch this. Let me give shout outs again to all the people who showed me some love tonight. These streams, man, it's just a relaxed, chill environment. We bring Canes fan members onto the stream and we chop it up about whatever we want to talk about, whether it be the game. We might talk burgers and milkshakes like we did a little bit tonight. We might talk about whatever, man. But either way, we don't sugarcoat things. We keep it real. We're blunt. And we're honest, and this is a series that we do every Sunday starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And like I said, any Canes fan members in the chat, guys, you are more than welcome to join. Any of you guys. You don't even have to do cam if you don't want to. You can pop on and do no cam and just do voice. That's cool too. It's up to you guys. But, man, appreciate you so freaking much. All the love tonight, man. It will be a weird week. I'm just giving you a heads up. I've been very upfront about that. My preview video will drop on Tuesday. I'm going to film it tomorrow. I have a special guest picker coming on that's a former Miami Hurricane player. I will film tomorrow, post it on Tuesday, and then there will be a video almost every single day this week that's pre-recorded content that's not time sensitive, that's talking about Miami versus FSU, because your boy Coop's going to be in Miami. I'll be down there, man. So let's link up. If you see me, show up to Caneswear, man. If you see me at the tailgate, see me at the game. Coop! Come up, high five me. Don't be shy, man. Come on, don't be shy. But I'm going to play the outro, man. You already know how we do. Looking forward to this week, man. Really looking forward to it. And once again, to close it out, shout out to the Canes fan members that showed up tonight. Chris, Jorn, Melissa, Steve. I really, really, truly appreciate you guys. Like, you have no idea how much that means to me that you take time out of your night to chop it up with me and other Canes fans on the stream. It means the world. I'm serious. Tweet if you hear updates on TVD status. I will. I absolutely will. But, again, I think that we're probably good. I think that TVD does probably play. I know he wants to. I think TVD plays on Saturday. But anything could happen. How many fans do you think show up to the game? I mean, FSU fans are going to show up loud and proud on Saturday also. That's the thing. They're going to have a strong showing at Hard Rock. Let's be honest. Hard Rock is what, 65,000? I mean, I think this game, nighttime, prime time, I think they can hit 50K. 50K plus. I think so. If they're doing the blackout, if they're doing the Miami Knights, at least 50K, I think. Even with the 4-4 and 5-3. I think. I don't know. We'll see, man. Melissa said, go buy some Coach Coop merch. I love it. Melissa always showing me some love. Man, I'm going to get out of here, though, for real. Hey, again, I love you guys. Appreciate all the support. I shortened the intro this week. 50 to 55K, I think that's reasonable. I think that's what it'll be. I think so. I like the, man, listen, Rob, I like the positivity. I like the confidence. Let's hope we can take care of business, bro. Let's hope we can. Appreciate y'all. I will see you soon. I'll see you soon. Peace out, y'all.